Good day, good day. Good to be back on the closing argument. Today is Wednesday, January 25th, right? 25th, 24th, right? 24th of January. We'll be back on the closing argument for another edition of this widely watched show. We are live on Truth FM and Hot FM, and also being simulcast on several community radios across the country. Today is day number what? Day number 3 of the presidency of the 25th president of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Nyeman Boyka. And already he started making some appointments in his government. And today we saw some lists coming up, but apparently from what I'm gathering is that there was a lot of noise, so that list is on pause. It's not official yet. So, but perhaps while on the show this evening, we might get the listing. I'm also just tested somebody close with the presidency, and we're also watching. We're also on YouTube. We're also live on YouTube. You can also find us on YouTube. If you wherever you are. We can find us on YouTube. We're on Hot FM. We're on Truth FM, and across the country. But Henry Jala, man, Henry, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Tomalin. And let me say hats up to our followers. We are honored again to be back on another edition of the closing argument. What a privilege to be back after a hectic inauguration. You know, it has been just an event. We were just here on the closing argument a month back talking about campaign activities, and then we have gone through the campaign process, and then we went through the ballot box. We made our decision, and our decision brought to the spotlight President-elect Ambassador Joseph Nyeman Boyka, who is the current president. These are all processes, and today he's now president. We call him president. So it's been a tough time actually, but we have come to resolve. So again, I'm doing good, and many thanks to our father for all believing in us. As the information unfolds, that's how we give it to them. So they are so special to us that I can say. But I hear you making mention about some appointments that was made on today, but it was not official. It was not signed by the United Party.
It's not official, and from what I'm being told is that all of that is not official, and it is on hold. So I don't know why, but people are taking it around, but again, the presidency, the president of Liberia, Honorable President Boyka, will officially make his appointment at a due time.
Yes.
They have a website. They will come up and we see the appointments as they are made. So we should not rush with it. I know people being passed with lace around, but that's how what happened in our country. But we will be monitoring the event carefully as we are on the show. We are in touch with people close with the presidency, and they will be giving us updates on any new development. But we should just be mindful. But in the meantime, let me just welcome some of our viewers. I see Asata M. Miller watching from Soul Clinic Community. I see Harris Tucker watching from Detroit, Michigan. Prince Pajibo Bamina. He said we're not on YouTube. Can you check with it, guys? I know. I just got a text that we're on YouTube, but can somebody check it out?
The show is on YouTube as well.
Yeah, maybe you can put a YouTube on the channel and put there. Alio Kamara, Mambo from Bismarck, North Dakota. Breakable Power. This guy always give me hard time, but I'll he my friend. I will not bother him. He'll give me hard time. Oh, we're attacking him, but no problem. I live. It is live on YouTube. The closing argument. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, also, who again? I see Jose Snap watching from Duazon. Okay, that's where my house is. My house is in Duazon, Magibi, in County. Jose, maybe we'll be neighbors when I get back. Also, I see Musa Vaduana, Bilson Pay. The guys already gave him my papa JMB hat already. Emmanuel Ma, watching from Boston, Mass. Joseph Jackson, the former CDC chairman, USA chairman, Joseph M. Jackson. James A. Koyate Jr. My boy from Tupelo. Musu Wabi Cooper, watching from Australia. That's a lawyer, Wiyashen there. Lawyer Wiyashen. Abu Kamara from Monrovia, Liberia. Breakable power, my man, buddy, will catch up. No, but man, I like constructive criticism. I know I'll get better. So I don't take it personal, trust me. We see also Joseph M. Jackson from California, Humantro Kranga, Jerry Hine, Ansu D. Sano from Minnesota, Jose Snap, from Jackie asked me, Dwazan, right the former finance minister to a house about right in that community there. Jerry Hine from Harper, Maryland. Wow. See, we all over the country. Thank you, Jerry. And Daxi Dukley. Asatu O. Dawson, one of our lawyer, very loyal, religious follower, watching from Maryland, USA. Alio Islam Jallo from Iceland. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Yeah, let me see again. Yeah. And Seattle Chelsea P. Norris from Lofa County. Wow. Watching from Lofa County. Wow. Seattle Chelsea P. Norris. Wow. That's great. Happy to hear that. Happy to hear that. Happy to hear that. But we have a great show tonight. The other guys are coming, and we have a great show. We will be joined by the other guys. We'll make the show great. Let us make it great and get it going. But I know people are concerned about the appointments. The government appointments are coming to in slow, but I don't know. Again, this government had over 90 days to get ready. Robert had 90 days to prepare for this event. I don't know why they're still not ready. If you now say Seattle Choppy Norris name, that girl would not. Oh, okay. Lofa, he crazy. Hey, Seattle Chelsea P Norris. Okay, let me call a phone name. Seattle Chelsea P Norris. I finished doing it. Yeah, so a lot of news going around. You know, today the issue. I know they have been attacking the Madam Sarah Beslo Yanti. She's been coming on an attack. Apparently, people hearing she'll be nominated as a foreign minister, but we addressed that issue too. But Liberia is a different country now. We're trying to be politically correct. And everything is falling in line. I hope we know what will happen, but we are all here. But guys, I will keep on recognizing you guys until the guys can get started. Yeah, Prince Jenen Slobo. We're talking about the presidential appointments. We're talking about the president will be addressing the nation again. Okay. Truth FM. You guys want to check something? I think I'm getting information that we're not on the radio. Henry Jala, are we on the radio? We get information that we're not on the radio. Can you check it out? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll be discussing that. Okay, we're discussing about the President Baga will be giving his first State of the Nation address on Monday. At this time will be the joint session of the legislature. is on our constitution. He's required to address the joint session, the fourth working Monday in January of every year. He will be telling us where he met the country, how much money we have left in the accounts, all the Liberian government accounts. George we have already made it clear. He inherited when he took over in 2018. He said it was only little over $94 million in the foreign reserve, and he's leaving $222.7 million. He's leaving in that foreign reserve account of Liberia. In the consolidated accounts, that's the account that our revenues are put into, taxes are paid into that account, and that's what we pay civil servants from. He met $7 million in that account, but he left $40 million, little over $40 million in that account. So now we'll hear what Burger will tell us on Monday. He will tell us whether George Williams left the amount. Okay, now we are live on True FM 96.1. We are television 3 years. We are live on True FM 96.1. We are live there. Yeah. So that's an important address President Burger will be given to the country, the state of the nation. He's telling us where he met the country, how much he's inheriting from President Weah and the CDC government. So we look forward to that. It will be an interesting day. We pray the president is in good health, and will be, because that's a very most of the time that particular speech is very long, because you're giving the state of the nation and you're giving your agenda. Now he's a new president. He'll be giving us the agenda for the first year. What he intends to do in his first year, giving the legislative agenda for the country, telling us his vision for the country, where he intends to take the country. So that's what makes that speech very important on Monday, this coming Monday. So that's why we pray and hope that we wish the president good health and everything will be fine, and look forward to see him address the nation at the joint session of the legislature. And I know there are people who are saying that, in fact, he might sit down to give that speech. It's up. Once he delivers the speech, it's up to. I mean, I don't think people will mind. You want to keep the president up for more than 1 hour standing on his feet to give such an important address. But again, we look forward to that. But it's good to be back, as I said again, and we have lots to discuss tonight. And we want to make sure that we touch every area that is trending in the news. I know people are concerned about the first appointment that was made by the president, but the first few appointments he made on Monday, these are important. These are important appointments. I heard people giving their own version of it about whether, for instance, the president announced on Monday he appointed. The first appointment was Mr. Boyman S. Kamara, Minister of Finance and Development Planning. Mr. Boyman Kamara, he was the last finance minister for President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. When Amara resigned, he took over. He served for only 16 months. But prior to that, he worked at the Central Bank of Liberia. And some critics are saying that he's misplaced. He should have been sent to the Central Bank. But what they don't know is that the Central Bank has tenure. We have 3 governors: the governor proper, Aloysius Talu, and the deputy governor, Yimade Pearson, and another deputy governor, Usman Dukle. So these people have tenure. Until the tenure can expire, you don't expect them to just remove them and put people there. So their tenure have expired before they are replaced. So people can clarify. But Obama Kamara, for me personally, I don't think it's a bad pick. He's prepared. He's up to the task for that job. I've talked to him, and he has a vision. He want to make a difference. We'll see what happens. Come to the appointment of Ambassador Sylvester M. Grisby, Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. He's also the Chief of Staff of the President. Now, that position is usually given to someone who is very close to the president. That person knows a lot about the person, and the person basically runs the president's office. And President Boyka said that Ambassador Grisby, he come all the way back from his school days in CWA and so forth. So somebody he can trust. He's a trusted confidant of the president. So that's why Ambassador Grisby is what made Chief of Staff. Somebody that he trusts the person, somebody that he's confidant, somebody that he trusts and he believes can help him run his office in the right way. So that appointment is not a problem. Ms. Combrade, I call him Senior Combrade Samuel Kofi Woods, National Security Advisor. Kofi Woods, former student leader of the University of Liberia, also former president of the University of Liberia, also student government. He also a former director of the Justice and Peace, Cali Justice and Peace Commission. He is he's attorney at law, a human rights lawyer, human rights advocate. And Kofi Woods doesn't mean, when it says national security advisor, you don't have to have a security background and so forth. No, you basically run the National Security Council. You understand the local politics, the dynamics of the country, our structure, our social structures, and everything. And that's why that position is very important. And Kofi's been around for a long time. Everybody knows Kofi Woods. So I think that's the best. I mean, I'm satisfied with that pick. He's up to the task, and he'll make a good national security advisor. And President Boyka trusts him because all along during the political journey on this campaign, Kofi played a role. He wasn't the person who was in the media, no, or coming on the campaign show. You see, no, he was in the back, and Kofi he played a lot of important role, and that's why I think he's the best man for that job. Welcome, Chairman Sanvee.
Thank you.
And then you come to Gregory Coleman, Inspector General, Liberia National Police. You all know Greg. Greg was former 100 prior to the early administration. He served in that position before, and there was a point that we thought that President Weah would have kept him, but then they sent him to the Bureau of Concession, and we all know what happened there. And he left, and when he came back to the States, but he's been working along with the president-elect security team. And come to Mr. Sam Gay, Director of the Executive Protection Service. Madam Sali, when she was leaving, her last EPS boss. Sam Gay is an American trained drug enforcement official, but yet still he understands national security, and he been with the president-elect. He been with him too, and advised him on security matters too. So the president-elect trusts him. The EPS director is somebody who, again, you must have trusted. That person, your life is in that person, is in the person's hand. The person provides, take care of your life, your family, the first family life. So President Boyka trusts Sam Gay. He's qualified for the job. So the first picks, everybody have their own opinion, but I feel that these are good pick. People say, "Oh, you know, you people in there. Come on, man." And look, you people who are doing this thing, they all said they were doing it for jobs, they're doing it for the country. So they want to rescue the country. So they all tell us they're doing it for a job, want to rescue the country. So I think the country is in good hands with the first picks. We look forward to the next appointment. But Chairman, I want to invite you, Charming, because you understand all of these things, and you come
Thank
along.
you. So thank you, Tomalin. Sorry, I was just getting a text. I may have to run at 5:30 to go and pick up these girls. But I'll be here to that and then come back. But yeah, you're right, my brother. You're right. First of all, I think the first set of picks, and even the ones that have been rumored because they haven't been official yet, right? I think they're solid. I've promised that I will be as fair as I can. I think there are solid picks. I think I remind everyone, and I continue to say over and over, that we should give the president a chance, let him form his government, let him, look, every president deserves to work with the people that he or she trusts. Every president should be giving that opportunity to do that. Elections have consequences. When you vote in a president, your constitution is very clear on who names a cabinet. The Constitution gives the president the full prerogative to name a cabinet that he or she believes will be able to carry out the agenda that they set forth during the elections. And I think President Boka should be giving that opportunity. He should be given the benefit of that. There's nothing wrong with people having opinions. There's nothing wrong with people making recommendations. We can make recommendations. There's some people who have heard that have said that, you know, some of the names that have come out may be misplaced. I think my uncle Sam Jackson mentioned something like that on his page or something like that. But I think I want to trust the wisdom and I want to trust the confidence and the thought process of the president. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. He's been he's been vice president before. And also I like to reiterate this. If Liberians wanted to see new faces, they would not have voted for the Unity Party. I'm sorry. It's almost like you plant pepper and then you expect to harvest okra. That's not going to happen. The people who President Bokai will appoint in his government, or you see appointing in his government, are people who he's worked with, are people who he knows, are people who he's comfortable with. So I think it's a little disingenuous for us, or for not me, because I'm not surprised by the names that I'm seeing. What I'm waiting to see is the full composition of the government. That's what I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see how he put certain people in certain places. Who are there going to be newbies? Look, let us not forget, and like I said the other day, a lot of our young brothers and sisters who vehemently and strongly supported this president, which was their right to do, and they had all reason, and the reason they did it was their right to do it, right? They will have to understand. They will have to understand that the president needs the time to go ahead and make the decisions that he needs to make. We have a responsibility to support our government, but to also hold them accountable. I do not want to see Joe Bokai fail. I did not vote for him. I did not support him. If you gave me the opportunity to do it all over again, I will do it exactly as I did it. But that does not mean that I want him to fail. I do not want to see Joe Bokai fail as president of Liberia. I'm serious about this. We do not have 6 years to waste. We don't have 6 years to waste. We're not getting younger. We're getting older. And so those who feel that, right now, and like you said, Tomalin, most of the folks who supported the Unity Party, they are on the record. They were doing this for Liberia. They believe that the CDC government, and we are getting a second term, was not in the best interest of the country. And so I will repeat, I think let's give the president the benefit of the doubt. Let's give him the chance to form his government. Let him name who he feels comfortable with. And in the end, we will judge them, and we will judge this president based on deliverables, cataloging the promises that he made and how he acts as president. There are a few things that I see that has not happened. On the campaign trail, Tomalin, I heard the Unity Party say that the president will declare his assets on the first day of office. We don't know if that has been done. Not only declare, I know that they beat up on George Weah for not publishing his assets, because President Weah declared his assets but did not publish it. I know friends in the Unity Party who stated that it was, even though it was not law, mandated by law, but in the interest of transparency, President Weah should have published his assets. Some of those people were the biggest supporters of the president today. I know the president also campaigned on that. He campaigned on transparency. I am waiting to see President Boakai declare and publish his assets for the Liberian people to see. I'm waiting to see every member of his cabinet do that. They must declare. They will. They have to, because that's the law. According to the LSCC, they have to declare. But I'm also willing and waiting to see them publish it and make it public. Let us know what you're coming in government with. And so when you leave government, when you declare, when you do your exit declaration, we will know exactly what you are leaving with. But listen, I believe the president is on the right trajectory. I think his appointments are solid. I think Gregory is going to bring a lot of effectiveness to the police. I think Sylvester Grisby is an old hand. He's a former minister of state under President Sirleaf. He is going to bring a steady hand to that office. I think Boima Kamara, the same thing. I don't have any issues against Boima Kamara. I think the CDC has left them a stronger economy than they left the CDC. So I think he has something good to build up on. Same with Kofi Woods. I think he will make a great national security advisor to the president. He's the president's confidant. And so I just want to say, look, we look forward to the new appointments. I think we're going to talk today. I think there's been rumors around of Sarah Beslo Yanti becoming Minister of Foreign Affairs. Let me end on this note, and this is my last one for Keff to come in. I want to go on the record, and I believe that Sarah, I have been one of the very few Liberians from time immemorial who spoke about the need of any government in Liberia picking Sarah Beslo Yanti as Minister of Foreign Affairs. I think she will bring great asset. She's a great asset. I think she will do well as Minister of Foreign Affairs. I think she has relationships. You want a foreign affairs minister that have relationships, not somebody who go and look for a friend. And I think she brings a new dynamism to build up on the progress that Kimaya has made, and so the country can continue to go forward. I know there's been a talk about her credentials. Listen, Sarah Beslo Yanti did not graduate from Cottington University. I don't believe she ever said that she graduated from Cottington University. I think she attended Cottington University, but she got her bachelor's and her master's from another university here in the United States of America. So I think, and it's people's right to ask these questions, but I don't think she should be penalized or blackmailed or whatever the word is because people think they don't like her or they don't want her to serve. I think she will serve her country well. She served international organizations. She served other countries. So let's wait and see. But Tomalin, I think it's a great start. I think let's wait and see what happened. But there are several things that I think we would like to see moving forward. So thank you.
Yes, welcome, Keff. And just before I go to Keff, just to add on Sarah Beslo Yanti, like you, Ben, that's someone who I've known all my entire life. I know her very well. We all came from Firestone. We grew up there, and she's a big sister. Sister. She's a strong woman of God and everything. And she was one of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, one of his trusted lieutenants. He made her almost the third ranking person in the UN to take care of the mission in Sudan, in South Sudan, and in Nepal. Again, like Ben said, it is a prerogative of the president of Liberia under the constitution to nominate for the advice and consent of the Liberian Senate. So if she's the one who will be nominated for foreign minister, Senator DeLong chairs the Foreign Affairs Committee. They go to his committee first. And let me explain how the process works. They nominate the people to the Senate. The pro tem will send it to the committee. DeLong chairs the Foreign Affairs Committee. The committee members, there are about 9 or 10 of them. I think 9, because it's always an even number. So about 9 of them, they will go through the president's resume. The president will submit their credentials to the committee. They will go through it, peruse the resume of the person. and then the person will come before that committee, and they will be quizzed. They'll question them. If that committee is satisfied, they vote on the nomination and send it to the full Senate. The full Senate now, when the 30 senators will all now go the person and to vote the up and down vote for confirmation. So that's the process. So I think it should be let the process play out. I don't think people should try to destroy this young lady. But I mean, you can't destroy somebody. Let the president, in his own wisdom, and make his nomination, and let it go before the Senate. If the Senate will be the one to determine whether she's qualified for the job or whether she meets the criteria for the job, and then they'll vote on it. But for now, I think it's unfair what's been done to her, and I think we all should not extent we should condemn it too, because I don't think it's fair to her at all. I think give the woman a chance. Let her go before the Senate and make her case. Give President Boga a chance. Let him make his appointment, and we see it from there. But Kev, jump in. Let's get on the discussion. Let's get it going.
Well, let me say hi to you guys. I heard you guys because I came and on late. I heard you guys talking about the appointment. You know, I start to look at the face from Barack. When he came there, Barack Obama, it was a new face from the Democrats. Then look at Biden, even though he vice he was vice president to Barack, but it's a new face.
Yeah.
You know, even the White House secretary is a new face. And I asked myself, even though folks say, well, they qualify, but I remember on the 50-50 T-Mac show, what JMB talk about, folks within the government of Madam Ellen did not do the jobs. They were not doing anything. They were there for themselves. He condemned that administration. Matter of fact, I flagged that so many times, and say, okay, why are you attacking Madam Ellen government? He also said I was a pack car. I had nothing to do with our government. People were doing the things, and he also, because of that administration which he worked in, and the same guys that he appointed beside Kofi Wood, everybody had the same identical position.
True.
And what he said he squandered the opportunity that he had. Grisby was the ear of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And he said, Grisby squandered the opportunity. So how can you put the identical individual that you told the entire world that he squandered opportunity and you put him there back? Can somebody help me here? Let me understand what he's talking about.
Remember, I thought you said you're going to praise the president.
So how can you put people in the same identical position, then everybody there work under that same administration that you attack? You see, I'm a believer of people by their words. You know, the reason I say that, because they told us that Joe Buckeye is a man of his word. He's strong. He will change things. So the reason why I brought the Barack and all the, and mind you, after Bill Clinton, Democrat they lost all the election. Then Barack came in, but it was a new face. We saw a new face. We start to see those David Axelrod, David Plouffe, those new faces, new people. We saw young guys, right? And then you got to Biden. Now we see new faces. You remember this guy who was the press secretary for Bill Clinton, Joe Lacker. You remember that, Ben? Joe Lacker? You remember? He was solid. He was solid. Obama could keep him and say, hey, this is a solid guy. No, he brought new guys. You telling me the only person who can be with Joe Bucker is the same grace period that he condemned?
Did he condemn Grisby? Just a question. Did he
yes,
condemn
yes, he did. He did.
What do you mean he condemned me? I'm just asking a question.
He said, I quote, he said, folks who were working under Madam Ellen did not do the jobs they were doing there for themselves. He said on 50-50, he said that. He said those guys squandered the opportunity. Grisby was there in the ear of Madam Ellen. Same position.
That's fair.
That's right.
So how can you condemn these same guys and you put them there? What's the change? You on record condemning Grisby, condemning all those guys on record. So I'm going to put it back to you guys. What's the change? Joe Bucker is speaking on both sides of his mouth, saying one thing and doing another thing. You tell me. I rest for now. You tell me what's the change.
Lofa, it's good to see you. Welcome. Kev, let me just say this, and I know Lofa will come in quickly. Look, I get your point. I remember he also stated that there were, during cabinet meetings, there were a lot of PowerPoint presentations, and his exact words were, every time the president reached out to him to ask him, his one word he kept saying was, Madam President, implementation. Implementation. That's
there you go. There you go.
Exact words.
He said it. Yes.
He said that was what he kept telling her. Implementation. Mm-hmm. Implementation. And let somebody please check, guys. They're saying the YouTube is not on. I don't know why, but you see that
the YouTube is on, and people will just the YouTube is on.
Send it to your sister Tiola, man.
Yeah, please send it to Tiola.
The YouTube is on, and I think
Lofa, please send it to her. Your friends share the YouTube thing because a lot of people watch on YouTube.
So, but here's the thing, though. That's another thing that we need to address. If you follow the YouTube channel, you'll know that we're gonna have about 18 subscribers. But all of them, they ask for the YouTube channel, but they're not subscribing to the channel.
Yeah, so
they don't get the update.
Tell them, guys, subscribe to the YouTube.
Just subscribe. It's not that big deal. Subscribe and then
Lofa, please, Tiola, the black hole, all the social media, only YouTube she can.
Hey, yeah.
Black hole.
How did they black? What do you mean they black hole all the social media?
I'm telling you.
What made you on the live here for you?
I'm telling you.
Yeah, let's we'll put the YouTube link. Yeah, I'll put the YouTube link in the chat. I'll probably use my phone.
I'm about to put it on here.
I'll both of them. I think there is Truth FM. There's Truth FM YouTube and Closing Argument YouTube.
Right.
So we can have both on there. But let me say this. I wanted to complete my thought. Kev, look, I have said, and listen, many people are going to be very flabbergasted by what I'm going to say, right? I believe the president should be given the chance to perform his government. I believe so. I also believe that you are going to see a lot of faces from the past show up. Heck, the president is a face from the past. The president of the country is a face of the past. He's not a new president. I heard you talk about Barack. Yeah, Barack was new. He was new.
But Joe Biden is a face of the past.
But you got to also understand, though, but some of the folks in Biden, most of the folks in Biden government are folks from the Obama years and the Clinton years.
Ben, let me say this, though. Right now, over in Ambassador Grisby, that one person who will not go for the Senate for confirmation hearing.
No, he have to.
You have to.
Okay, but even if he goes there, right? But that person, that particular job is given somebody who you trust, your personal confidant. So it's not no issue about
no. But so you saying a man who was with the ANC,
it doesn't matter.
So you're saying he trusts him more than he trusts Mo Ali.
Of course.
But the Joe Biden tell you you're going to make Mo Ali Minister of State?
No, I'm just asking. Let's talk about because Mo Ali was acting as a chief of staff to him.
That was when he was presidential candidate. When you become presidential candidate, right now, Keff, I mean, we know how these things work, right? Everybody got access to the stand-up bearer, to the candidate. When
Larry, welcome.
You can fly into a house. You can get out in the morning and walk straight in a house.
No, Ben. We are putting measures in place.
But you're not listening to what I'm saying, Tommy. You interrupting me. I'm saying when the man was stand-up bearer, everybody could go into a house. JMB could be sitting down in his office. Everybody just walk there, open the door. Oh, JMB, we cannot see you, Papa. And so he's president of the country now. You can't go there. The people who claim they were, but who was vice president? Who was President Buckeye's chief of staff during the campaign? It was Jake Kabakoli.
Jake, yeah.
Is Jake Kabakoli? Do you think Jake expected that he was going to transition to Minister of State? Maybe he did, but listen, I'm sorry.
Maybe because we are Magewa close.
Well, so listen, guys.
Maybe,
guys. At the end of the day, and let Lofa and Larry come in. At the end of the day, I believe what the president is doing is within his comfort zone. I don't think the people who voted for Joe Buckeye, like I said, this election became about just getting rid of George Weah. That's what it came down to. It was about, we want George Weah. Joseph Buckeye is the only person we believe that can beat George Weah. So you're going to vote for Joseph Buckeye. I don't know for what reason some people thought that Joseph Buckeye represented change. Because Joseph Buckeye is, the name Joseph Human Buckeye and change, they don't rhyme together. They're not the same. And I'm not saying this in a disrespectful or negative way. I'm speaking facts. Nobody who has served in government for 40 years represents change. I'm sorry. That doesn't work. It doesn't, it doesn't rhyme. It doesn't jive. So all I'm saying to you guys, and all I'm saying to people out there, and I know there's some disappointment. I see different things popping up. Unity Party people saying they're protesting, setting an appointment. Hey guys, chill. This thing is just 5. You know, it says we just 5 deep. We just 5 deep. Maybe by the end of the day or tomorrow, we might be 10 deep. Because I know that the public giving up 5 for 5. Every other day, you need 5. And you know, I think that's what the public doing right now. He's giving them 5 for 5. And you know what I like about the president? And this is something that I like about him. You see how Joseph Buckeye kept the whole country with him for his vice president and shocked the whole country, you know. On the 2 occasions he had the opportunity to name a vice president. Many people who thought that this was going to be all hunky-dory, listen, that black book that President Boyka got. And I said it the other day, they thought I was joking. I heard the old man they said the entire cabinet is already listed in the black book. The only problem is he wrote it in Kisi. That's the only problem. They can't understand what he wrote. He got the whole cabinet. The men already know who he appointing. And I know my man, they say my man Mo Ali went to SPA, the lazy, but he didn't make it. So I'm just saying, y'all gave the old man a chance. Kev. Let the old man form his government. Let him do. I cannot feel say he can read Kisi. So let Mo Ali take a picture. You know, maybe he need to take a picture of the black boy and send it to Akina Phillips. But I'm just saying, guys, in all fairness, I think let's give the president the benefit of the doubt. He will appoint the people he wants to appoint. He will appoint the people who he believes that is going to push his agenda forward. That's all I'm saying. And for now, I think his picks have been good so far. The only thing is that people have said maybe it remembers like a third term of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. That's what people are saying. So far, the names that have come out, it looks like it's a third term of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. But heck, Joseph Boyka was Ellen Johnson Sirleaf vice president. So I don't know what people were thinking when they thought he was going to go pick people from somewhere else. That's all I'm saying. Lofa, I think it's you. Tomalin, you muted.
Yes. Welcome, Professor Kennedy, and welcome, Lofa. Lofa, I keep cutting your hair. Don't do that thing again.
Oh yeah.
No, but on a serious note, before you guys come in, look, your gift, the election president we are considered November 17. You guys want to tell me that the president-elect, he didn't have his thing already made? The woman guy, his thing all scarf up, all set up. He knows his cabinet. He knows exactly who he put in, which place they're going. So let give him chance. And you people, look, you said the country will be rescued, not for a job. So look, let the public bring the best and the brightest on board to rescue the country. You gotta be a UP member, and so look, let us give the woman, the president, a chance. And on Monday, the president will be giving more information on what he will do for the country when he addressed the legislature in his first annual message. Whether he, as I was told, he will sit down, let him sit down. I will support it. Let him sit down and address the nation, the joint session. No problem. We'll get water there, we'll get everything there. Everything will be there, we'll address the nation.
What do you mean you would sit down and address the nation?
The president can, don't forget, that's a long speech there. That speech is very long. He told him where he met the country and where he take where he.
But he's not going to sit. What do you mean he's going to sit?
Why would doctor say why?
No, he's not incapacitated. We don't know him to be incapacitated.
No, but I'm sure if you get 1 hour speech, if he cannot, come on, Ben.
Wait. Look, Tomalin, you can't do that.
I will defend it.
No, listen, guys, and maybe you should come in here. Is it me or is there anybody else here? Tomalin, are you saying the president will give his State of the Nation address sitting?
I'm hearing that he must sit, but if he will sit,
who? Sorry, guys.
Okay, Larry, look for your join me.
But Ben, there's nothing that says he cannot sit.
Exactly.
He's welcome to sit if he wants to. For you and a whole lot of other people.
Larry, are we serious? Are we really sitting here saying that the president was sitting?
Hold on 1 second.
Larry,
the
uptick.
The hand, you see, Tomalin, that's my man Keff. He heard that one part and he's waiting for it because he knows it's coming, right? so he's free to sit, right? Exactly. But the optics of it is going to look bad. So you don't recommend, because even when you see some of the leaders out in like you saw Mitch McConnell, despite all the stuff that he was going through, he still stood at the podium and he still delivered what he needs to deliver, right? You can't have a president sitting if he or she is not incapacitated.
Are you serious? Are we serious?
No, but Ben, there is no law saying he cannot sit. I mean, the optics it was so bad.
Larry,
I would not personally advise him to do so.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you.
But he knows his condition better than anyone else. So if he wants to, that is fine. It may not sit well with a whole lot of people. It's going to look extremely bad.
I swear to
God. He's welcome to. But Ben, let me ask you this question.
What?
Are you comfortable with him standing and then being stressed out, tired, and at risk of falling? Or will you be more comfortable with he's sitting and delivering the whole speech in its entirety?
So I can't believe we're actually having this conversation. Sorry. I'm flabbergasted. I can't believe we're having this. And I see my big brother Akina Phillips saying that say the governor of Texas running the country from a wheelchair. Yeah, he is.
But he's incapacitated.
Yes, the governor of Texas got elected in a wheelchair.
He had that accident. Yeah.
He's a handicap, correct? From what I understand.
Yeah,
right? He's not disability. He's an American with disability. I want to be very careful with my words. Yes, I want to be very careful with my words because I don't want it to feel like. And there's nothing that says that anybody with a disability can do what other people with no disability can do.
That is correct.
So I've seen some of the smartest people in this world are people who, heck, Franklin Delano Roosevelt ran this country in a wheelchair. He had polio, correct? I believe. He had polio. Joseph Boyka have none of those things. None of those things. And the second thing I want to say, the law also states, guys, do you guys know if, look, and let me give some free advice to the president handlers. The president, the State of the Nation address, this is something a lot of people don't know. You know, the State of the Nation address, tradition, by law, don't necessarily, it's not necessarily a speech that has to be read. It's not. It's just the program that we go to at the Capitol building, like the State of the Union here in America, is just a formality, a formal thing. The law says the president shall deliver. And I've had some conversation with constitutional lawyers about this. The president shall deliver the state of the nation, meaning his plans for the coming year to the people's representative. Deliver, you can deliver that by paper.
Another version also say the president will address a joint session.
Very good. This is where I was going.
Yeah.
Address the joint session, meaning he will give a synopsis of his plans. If I was advising the boycott people, don't go down there and give the old man a speech for 2 hours. Or he should not accept no draft speech that runs more than 30 minutes. He should not. Summarize it, inspire the country, give a summary of your State of the Nation. That will be your address to join Congress. That's it. Because if you're saying that the president will be addressing joint Congress with his plans, then a 10-hour speech. Because you're getting report from every ministry, or you outlining what every ministry is going to do. That's why they summarize it. But I would not advise them to go and put a chair on that stage and put that man in a chair with a microphone. Y'all don't listen to Keff Hassan. Listen, I'm saying this. Y'all do not listen to Keff Hassan. That's all I would say.
Lofa and Peabody join me because we've got this topic getting hot.
You know, again, good to be on here. Wonderful deal to be discussing Liberia. I think we are now doing what we'll call the third day performance review from all indications. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm not going to focus or waste time on the Sarah Bislow thing. I think it's a distraction. It's a distraction to all of the happiness on ground, and in order to get people routed out and focusing on something else other than the recent issues, such as the fact that the president and other folks from the United Party criticized President Weah from working out of his home. The past couple of days, the president been working out of his home, and they don't want us to talk about that.
But they said the mansion not ready, Lofa.
Hey, Ben, the mansion not ready. The mansion was.
But we gotta be fair now. The president office not ready. They said
the president office not ready for the past couple of days. That does not mean we can't talk about it. Okay, besides. They fight. Okay, that's fine, and I'll take your clarity. But also, that tells me again we are on the same, the same trend here. Secondly, the inauguration funds were stolen, and we are hearing of these things. Why are we not discussing it? Remember, this is the rescue train. This is the train that came to rescue us from one of the most critical part of our country problem: corruption. Corruption is one of the most critical part of things. And we are hearing the inaugural program, the funds were stolen. We want to know who stole the funds. Would they be prosecuted? Would they be investigated and prosecuted? Okay, these are things we want to talk about. We also want to highlight the fact that we were disgraced. We were embarrassed to the international community. The incident that took place during the inaugural program was very embarrassing. We cannot ignore these things. So when you see other coming out with all of these distraction, attempting to throw dents in people's character, all right, trying to highlight academic credentials, based on what I know as a professional young man and what I have experienced, I tell you what, when we sit for interviews, or when we are conducting interview, we appreciate every academic achievement. But you know what we focus on? Your experience. that tells us the quality, okay, the value added. So when you hear people running around trying to distract Liberians, I say, let us not focus on that. What I want to say today, before I even get to my actual contribution, is the fact that the War and Economic Crimes Court appears to be, again, I'm very optimistic about it because there are folks on ground who are now sitting in with the president and they are negotiating. There are people on ground and things are happening. I'm very grateful that these things are already in process. All right. And progress is show because I'm excited. The president mentioned in his speech that these things will happen. So the feasibility studies will be conducted and we will be given what we need. And I think what we need here is the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court. To all of those who contributed, okay, they contributed to all of these things in Liberia. Remember, justice is on its way. Now, to the issue of recycle politicians, as I often refer to them, this is where we are again. The most embarrassing part to me, as though we don't have all the qualified Liberians to serve in these positions where we are sensing and we are seeing for ourselves these recycled politicians. We have a population of over 5 million Liberians. So to come out here and see that we are recycling these same individuals when we have promised Liberians change, but to see us recycling these people and then claiming, well, they served in previous government, they have the experience, they are qualified for this position, I agree. But in the population of over 5 million, are you telling me we don't have competent Liberian to occupy those positions? At what point in time do we start the change process? Do we wait until everybody participate in the dress process before we start to acknowledge our young generation to be part of the innovative progress movement of Liberia? I don't see it. So I will stop here for now, but I want to say it again. I don't think we should focus anytime on the Sarah Bessel issue or Madam Sarah Bessel, excuse me, issue. I think this is a mere distraction. Let's focus on other issues that are on ground.
Well, gosh, good to see you, man. It's good to see everybody. Look, let me say here that the issue with Sarah Besley and credentials. I mean, I don't know, but this lady worked for the United Nations at one of the highest level. And if they did not vet her and she came from the ranking and went that far, I don't know why. I don't know, but I think she have worked. She has the experience. I don't know. They have all right to question her credentials, but is that Facebook you're gonna go to question her credential to really ask? Is that Facebook? Is Facebook or Martin Colley credentialing agency that you go to the question? I think we have the Civil Service Commission. I think
I'm
what the
sorry to interrupt you. Let's not give credence to the kids that just running around doing these things for attention. Let's focus on the actual issue. Let him
right.
and his organization go and critique every Liberian and their academic achievement. Let's focus on the real issue on ground and not the distraction, boss.
Well, I think you're right, but I think what the new government need to do now is to set up a team that maybe where you can go and check on those who graduated in foreign countries. They got the National Clearinghouse, well, most university. Like when I was applying for job and get accepted, my transcript, I go to National Clearinghouse. Some of the colleges I went to have their records that is being saved by National Clearinghouse and paid a small fee, and they send that record to you to tell you whether a graduated or have a degree or not. I think that would help, because in the past we know other people have actually faked their document and stuff like that. I mean, that was help, but with Sarah Beslow, I think she should be given the opportunity. They should not base it on Facebook record stuff like that. I think she should be given the opportunity. This lady have claimed the ranking file of the United Nations. She's done well. She has got to that level. I think we need to stop that. I mean, because you have people on the ground who are not saying, "Oh, she's not a founding member of UP. She was not part of the struggle." I think this is part of the jealousy that come in when the president talk about being inclusive. They're talking something else, but I don't think we should give that, and I don't think the team should give that. I think she's She's trained. She's educated. I mean, she worked with the United Nations, and I think she should be given that opportunity. If they have any concern, the team that is appointing her need to go further and vet her academic credential. Did she present any academic credential to them? Did she say things in her resume that did not reflect what she did or not? I think they can set that up. It's easy to get that record here. The MSA in the States can coordinate with the university here and can get all the record. I think they should do that. But in regards to President Barker speech on Monday, what are he going to say? I don't know why we arguing this thing. We knew from day one that the old man had some health challenges. He had some health issue, and as I said on Monday, the best thing to do is to send this man to come and get a clean bill of health and go back and be able to serve. They keep overlooking it. They keep doing things. And if anything happened to him, we'll hold some of those people responsible because it's because of their selfish gain. Because of their selfish gain that they want to do this. But I think what happened on Monday, if they're going to overlook that and don't send him abroad or find a doctor that he can go to and get help, then you think he's all right? That's fine. But we saw yesterday when he was escorting the ambassador Greenfield that he still did not look too strong. In fact, she asked him to go back in from the sun. If anybody listened to that video, you could see you could hear when he was talking, his voice was still not that strong. He was trying to say something loud to her, but his voice was still not that strong. And even coming out, he almost fell. I think it is important that the president go and check himself, or send the president somewhere so that he can get some help and let him check him to see whether he's doing well, or stuff like that. It's important. He's not the president. There's no more election, so he can go for 1 or 2 months. To be honest here, President we went for 3 months, so why he can go for 2 or 3 months and check himself and check his health? So I think it would be good wise for him to go, but in giving that speech, I think if it's not fair, if it is not strong to stand, well, let him sit. In regards to the appointment, I want to go while Lofa said. The people there, yes, they are qualified. But how long will you keep somebody in the 70s or 80s going in one position? How long are you going to keep them? So if I was in the EPS today and say I probably join this group so I can excel through the ranking files, I would not have that opportunity at all. So I would not even look to grow within that department, because every time they look out there and bring somebody in, they don't bring anybody who have been there, who have worked there, who have spent training in different countries. They don't bring them. They bring the same old person from almost 17 years ago or 16 years ago. They bring the same people and bring them back. So how long somebody will be qualified? Will he be qualified for the rest of his life, that you can't even bring in new people to take these positions? Okay, Sylvester Grisby was there for a hell of a long time. You bringing him back. I'm not saying they're not qualified. They're very qualified. But when will others have the opportunity, who have gone through that, the ranking file or the finance ministry or other places, to sit at the highest level? Because that's one of the question they ask you when you go for an interview. What do you see yourself 5 or 6 years from now? I would say doing the same thing in Liberia, I guess. Thank you.
Well, look, guys, let me say this. There are over 3,000 positions in government. The president will appoint over 3,000 people in the next 2,084 days from now. He has, as I said today on my page, he has 2,084 days remaining in office for the next election. You appoint 3,000 positions. So look, the issue about the position that was the immediate position that was appointed. Oh, guys, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. The issue about the positions that were appointed, the first position, like the EPS boss, these are positions that you want somebody that you can trust. I repeat, somebody, because your life is in that person's hand. Their first family's life is in that person's hand. You want somebody that you can trust. That's why you appoint somebody who you're comfortable with. National security advisor, that the person you will talk to when you get in the morning and before you go to bed. Kofi Woods. He's been with the president for a long time. He trusts Kofi Woods. Sam Gay, EPS board, I just said, come to Gregory Coleman. That's a guy who was just there for serving under Madam Salif. I think he did a spectacular job. Now I come to who else again? The chief of staff. I come in, Lofa. That's his personal confidant, his personal friend. That's the Ambassador of Grace Bay. Why we should start getting tough on the president? Want to see who you will make LPRC managing director, the managing director of MPA. We'll start talking about other cabinet positions like the youth and sport minister, the information minister. We want to see, then we'll start talking about these first appointments that put around him, put in his room with him. These are people go in his bedroom. They put him in his bedroom. Okay. And now another issue. Let me address. Welcome, Grace, Madam Grace Goa. Welcome. Now another issue I want to address too. Talking about the State of the Nation address, guys. We all witnessed what happened on Monday. The president is still home, maybe based on doctor's advice. He should be home yet, but he should be home based on doctor's advice. So you cannot come and just say you should run to the office right away. No, maybe you go by his doctor's advice. The only problem I got is that in America, you're so happy recently the law Austin. The people, when you're in a public space, your life is an open book. I thought they should have come over a release and said, look, the doctor should have said, come on, how a press conference. Look, the president, what happened today? The president suffered this XYZ, but he's not in good shape. And based on our advice, the president will want him to be working from home in the meantime. Something to the nation, something to the nation. But so we shouldn't just come and beat on them.
Tomalin, you know what? Let me allow Professor Kennedy to join in. Larry, I want to respond to that statement from you, but let me allow him to come in first, and then I'll respond to that.
Look, every appointment the president makes, it's important because he's building a team that will help him solve all the major issues in Liberia. The whole thing with foreign affairs, even though it is important, but foreign ministry doesn't really lead to solving the top 10 issues in Liberia, right? The key issues in terms of the appointment the president just made would be the Minister of Finance. That is so essential because Minister of Finance also is responsible for the economic development. The problem we've been having in Liberia is we've been focusing on the fiscal side, where on the Ministry of Finance, they're looking more in terms of paying the government bills, but they don't focus on the economic development part that deals with addressing issues of poverty. Poverty is the number one issue in Liberia. You have over half the population, even more in the rural areas, that are in poverty. Major issue. It also dives into the second part that what Julius mentioned, right, in terms of corruption. I said this when we met on Monday, and I said, look, how is the president going to address corruption, right? He could have said something a little bit more about dealing with corruption, maybe using some technology, because you can't address corruption by handing money to people. That's not old-fashioned. Money would disappear. You can't do business like that. You have to focus on doing things electronically so you can have audit trails. If something goes missing, you can easily go and do the audit and find out where the money went missing. Otherwise, you will have situations where people will say, oh, I lost the money, I dropped the money. No, you can't have any of that stuff. You have to focus on. So I'm interested in the appointment. You see, real quick, on the security side of things, the only time you should be worried on the security side of things if you're not doing things right to address poverty and job creation. Because when the people get upset, they can't feed themselves, you don't have jobs and stuff. Then the people you have in those security things, like if you have Kofi Woods, is Kofi Woods able to use or bring people in to use technology to get a sense of what's going on in the country? So if you're not doing the work on reducing poverty, creating jobs, addressing issues, then you will have to start worrying about, okay, who's my EPS guy? Who the guy on my NSA team? Those are the things then that lack of jobs will lead to you worrying about that. Education. If you're not addressing situations of education, your economy will never grow. it will never ever grow, because all of the countries that managed to succeed, they invested a lot more of their money into education. You got to train the young people in there, but not training them on doing. Look how many people have been graduating over the past 6 years from college. Can anyone tell me how much jobs were created to fill those to satisfy? That's a major problem. You're graduating people consistently, but not giving them jobs to fill. There's so many people with college degrees in Liberia but no jobs to go to. So you got to be able to focus on the finance ministry. And to Tomalin's first point, I know people at the central bank are tenured, but that's a problem, because if you have somebody in the central bank who cannot deal with issues of addressing inflation, the president said he wanted to know why prices were rising. It's the central bank's responsibility to make sure to deal with inflation with the monetary policy. How is he going to deal with that when the person who is in there came from the previous administration, and there's rumors that he may have purchased that position from McGill? You have these tenure positions, in certain instances, they are creating a mess in Liberia. Certain people should not be in tenure position, and there has to be a way to get rid of people based on competency rather than keep them in there. If the central bank guy hasn't helped the previous administration, what makes you think he's going to help your administration now? So I'm focused on that, also on the central bank. But and turning into your earlier point when the show first started, I know that Boima Kamara has the experience. He was, like you said, 16 months. He was at the Ministry of Finance. But he is more of a researcher, right? He's more of an analyst, research kind of thing. But you need someone with financial economics experience, because you need, and this is something I said to Samuel Twe, and even my man Lester Tenney was kind of debating with me. I said, nowhere in the world have you seen a country grow if you don't develop the financial sector. And they thought, oh, Liberia has grown, we didn't develop the financial sector. No, you don't understand what development is if you don't know how to grow the financial sector. You need to be able to get money from people who are saving it to people who are interested in borrowing it and be able to pay it back. That's what developing the financial sector is all about. In all the countries that have grown, they have been very successful in doing that. So Boima Kamara is highly technical, smart guy. He got the degree, he's got the education and all of that. But I think he is more on the research analytical side, as opposed to that kind of international finance and international development mindset. So let's not focus on people like Sarah. She's highly qualified. Foreign ministry simply follow the mandates of the U.S. foreign policy. They deal with issues that Liberians and diaspora are having. But it's not that kind of critical role that we need to spend so much time focusing on. Let's take a look at those appointments coming in. If this is going to be the geriatric administration, then we have a problem, because we need people that can come up with some new forward-thinking solution to address the problem. And rest is not going to work if you don't get the money to pay for it. And you can't keep going to the World Bank and IMF and think that it's going to solve your problem. That stuff is never. Right now, Kenya is in problem. Kenya has an issue with the IMF. So I think we can focus on some of the key issues, like what Lofa mentioned, and things like, appointment of Sarah. It should go through. We shouldn't kind of, focus too much on that stuff. But yeah, that just wanted to share that, man. Let's focus on the issue that deals with what's hurting the Liberian people right now.
Thank you, Professor Kennedy. Grace, you want to chime in? But before you chime in, let me say this. Look, again, that's why we have the three branches of government. Like I remember when somebody attacked President Weah once, they said he got probably incompetent people in his government. He said, oh, y'all who are sending him to the people, to y'all in the Senate, you're attacking me, you're confronting the people. So why are you attacking me for? And you are right. If you feel that your job, that's what the Constitution says, with the advice and consent. So if the president nominates someone, you have a problem with that person, you'll do the proper due diligence. In fact, once they announce the person, nominate that person to the Senate, they go straight, they send all the particulars to the Senate committee members. Everybody have the copy of it. And then the perusal, when you come before them, they question you based on your credentials, everything. So I think President Boga won the election. He has the prerogative to appoint whoever he wants to appoint. Is left with the Senate. They represent the Liberian people. They elected them from 17 electoral districts. Let them perform the role. The 15 senators, the 30 senators. So, but Grace coming.
Okay, yeah. Let me get this grace. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Lofa. Concerning the appointments today, I was very disappointed. I just heard Mr. Kennedy was saying that we shouldn't question. Is that what you said? We shouldn't question the nomination of some of the people that were nominated, and I have a problem with that because
no, I never said anything about questioning. I said let's not focus on some of those roles that are not consequential, that are not so important in terms of dealing with poverty, dealing with corruption, dealing with literacy, and dealing with all those issues. Not question them. You can't bring somebody in who has a criminal record to come and run your central bank. You're going to have a problem with that, or run your Ministry of Finance, or run LBDI, or anywhere else. So you do have a right to question them, but let's not spend too much time focusing on those positions that are not going to solve the problem of poverty and education, those things I mentioned. Not ignore questioning them.
Okay, thank you. But for me, I would like to focus on them because it is important right now for the Bwaka government to get it right. And all the things that have been said from the against the previous government, and we not seeing it, almost the same thing play out in front of us. And that's the problem I have with when it comes to that brand on society. If it's it benefit us, or maybe if we like the people that are in the positions, then we don't want to say anything. And I'm not saying that's what Mr. Kennedy is saying. I'm just saying that. So I mean, all the appointments need to be questioned, and because it has important role to play when it comes to any development in any country. So we have to question that. I'm not satisfied with the nominations at all. The last one I wasn't satisfied. This one I'm not. I see the same people being played out over and over again. We hear the same names over and over again. Liberians are highly educated people. Even the people in Liberia are highly educated. They went to school. Some of them pay their dues. We wanted this government to change hands. We wanted them to put people in that, new faces, fresh ideas, new people that can do the work, interact with the president, or lay out what he wants them to. Administration, we're not seeing that. As far as Ami Modad, Minister of Commerce, I'm disappointed. Nepotism. He's the nephew of the president right there. This man has so many businesses in Liberia. It could be conflict of interest when it comes, to doing business in the country. That's a red flag for me. When it comes to A.B. Kroma, I'm on the fence with him because, he was able to do his job when he was in position before. But I just felt that they have other people here in America, even in Liberia, that went to school. They were in the army before. A lot of Liberians, they have the credential. They have everything. Try these new people. Let's see something different, because this is the change that we actually said what we want to change. So where is the change when you're bringing all these old people back? So I'm on the fence with A.B. Kroma. I'm not feeling it because I think that it's the same, the same thing, different day. When it comes to Janitor Massacre, he's a lawyer. Yes, I mean, I don't know if he's that competent enough to be the justice minister. I don't know, because I heard and I saw some evidence of him copying and pasting something on from one website to another when it came to certain cases in Liberia. So I'm on the fence with that as well, because you have to. The justice is very important, especially to some of us. We have been fighting for justice in Liberia for so long, and we have not seen the Justice Department or the Justice Ministry give us that justice in the last years that we came from. So how now that we're looking to see somebody new, somebody fresh, somebody different, somebody strong, and you give us Janitor Massacre. So I have a problem with that. When it comes to Sarah Beslow, man, there are too many competent people for that position. I'm a woman. I'm not a feminist. I love women to be in positions. I love them to excel, but you have to have the credentials to do it. Experience is not enough. We cannot tell our children now, okay, you have experience, so you can't go to school. So already that you will use your experience. Some people got their experience because they were favored. So they got in certain position, but their experience, they were supposed to use that time to educate themselves. If you cannot produce to us your undergrad information, then we have a problem with that. We don't want somebody representing our country in the international space, and they cannot bring forth the schools that they graduated from. And if they have those information, those schools cannot be found, they are not reputable. We have a problem with that. We got people like Dr. Moneyba. Although Dr. Moneyba, my candidate in the race, but Dr. Moneyba come with all this, experience, knowledge, education, PhD. He did last one of that. So you want to tell me if Joseph Boakai put him in a position now in the foreign space, he would be answering to Sarah Beslow? That's what they're trying to tell us here. I have no problem with these people. I don't know them. My thing is I'm putting Liberia first. Lofa will tell you, we are putting Liberia first. And for us to put Liberia first, things have to change. And this is not the change. This is not the change. Now, when it comes to Jalo Double, I'm satisfied with that. I think it was a wise choice. He did this one right, but the Senate now have to stand strong and stand their ground. If we send people to these positions that don't have the credentials, we are telling our children that education is not important. That's what we try.
Let me ask you a quick question before you land on that part. What mechanism did you use to validate her academic credential?
Oh, there's a lot of things that are going on social media.
No, okay. This is so. This is my disagreement with you, okay, Grace. You
need to give me a chance to answer. When I saw that,
I actually, you said there are so many. I want you to be specific.
Yeah, okay.
What did you use? What tool did you use to validate her academic credential?
Okay, one of the things, I only went to one because I have not seen her.
What is it?
It was the United Nations website. When she lay out in America here, when you lay out your credentials and your resume for people to see, you have to put the schools that you graduate from, not the schools that you attended. So we are not looking at, I attended a lot of universities. I graduated at Millersville University. So I can put that on my resume for you to see. If you put Cottington University and you just attended and you did not graduate, we have a problem with that.
Okay, so Grace, here's where I hope to provide this level of clarification. One decision to state the school they graduated from is solely their choice. It is upon the institution they apply to validate that information. And this is where we come in to say you don't simply dwell on the social media information that is provided to you. You don't sit and wait to have somebody come up. What in this case we are considering this to be a gossip. It's a mere gossip. You don't base your decision on that. What we need to do is put a mechanism in place. Ask the incoming government to organize a group of Liberians, okay, to validate all of this information, your work experience, your education, and then your background, including criminal records check. You can't simply say because you went on the United Nations website and because you did not see her indicate, okay, on her profile that she graduated from this institution, that again should be considered that she does not have the prerequisite or the academic credential to represent her. No, what we need to do is not to dwell on folks who sincerely want to just distract us from the reality on ground. We can put in place those who can verify all of this information. Okay, go out there.
That's why we on this platform now.
Yeah, but here's what we
cannot to put in place so we cannot of these people's credentials.
But can I come in right?
What we cannot say is we cannot use that. We cannot use that to disqualify her. The reason why you have the legislature, you have the senators to go in and do part of the work. This is why you do that. This is why prior to the nomination, okay, Honorable Boakai should have done due diligence. Okay, he should have had a team of people who have done the vetting process. The vetting process would have been verify her education, verify her work history, place of employment, all of these things before you even submit it. Those are the things that is expected. But to have one young man simply just run up and say, "Okay, hey, look, we find out that she did not state her school, her graduating school." Those are not some of the things that we want to encourage in the Liberia that we envision.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question here. Can I ask a question?
Ask a question. I want to answer to Julius. That
Let me ask. Okay, go ahead.
you're not wrong, but what we're trying to say to you, we are not responsible if Joseph Boakai did not put his team together to do the due diligence for Liberian people. So if you present this kind of list to us, we will critique the list. That's what we are here for.
But
so
that's fine.
we critique the list, they will go and do that due diligence, and the Senate will have to go and form a committee to really look into the credentials of these people. We are not going to sit here and allow people to represent Liberia that do not have the credentials. We're not going to do it any longer.
Who's doing the vetting?
Well, let me comment.
Go ahead, Dad.
I mean, we're talking about Liberia, but if the UN, the United Nations, the world body, can have her represent the word in several countries, no more Liberia. But let me ask this question: what is the qualification for becoming a foreign minister? Have we looked at what it requires? Do you need a degree or don't need a degree to become a foreign minister of the Republic of Liberia? But I will not base my evaluation of Ambassador Sarah Yanti Beslow based on what people are saying on Facebook. I think I will base it on what her academic credential from either a school or something to show, because Liberians are very gullible. And if they don't want you, they will go after you in many ways. They will say different things about you. They will create stuff and things about you. So I think we need to give if she had been nominated by the president, we need to give it a chance. We need to give the Senate a chance.
I do have a breaking news. Sarah Yanti Beslow is the foreign minister. End of story.
Okay, she has been nominated. She has been nominated.
So end of story.
It's nominated, you know.
She's been nominated, or she was given the job because she got.
She's been nominated.
Yeah, they go through based on confirmation.
Okay, so but she needs to be confirmed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, based on
Okay, so, but Peabody finish.
I would like to ask Dr. Peabody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me tell you, because you work with United Nations, people get jobs with United Nations. They get jobs with the state in the states here with these different states. They get jobs with federal government. Doesn't mean that you are qualified for them to put you there. Now you can learn on the job. You got your experience. We agree with that. You can go, because I know people that I work with. I work with the state of Pennsylvania, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I work with people who've been working there from the time they were 18 years old. And they've been working there. They never went back to school to get degrees, but they work there. They have the experience. Now, for you to be raised to director of one of the departments, you have to, I don't care, you can work there for conducting years. You have to have a bachelor's degree or undergrad before you can be raised to that. So I can come in and you can be working there for 18 years old. You travel the world over, you knew everybody, and you went and did job to everywhere. If you don't have that credential with that degree, that undergrad degree, and I have it, I'm going to be director over you. So having the experience working with the United Nations doesn't give you the fortified right to become a minister of foreign affairs if it warrants that you have to have a graduate degree to be in that position. And that's what we are saying.
But what is the requirement to become a foreign minister? What's the requirement?
Ami Moda also nominated. Ami Moda nominated. Ami Moda nominated.
So here's my thing, says Grace. Let me just say this, right? The example you gave us earlier, and I apologize, and I'll keep quiet here. The example you gave us earlier, you stated that those were prerequisites in order for you to meet the expectation, to meet what is expected for that particular position. You must have a bachelor's, or you must also have a master's degree level education. The question that Dr. Peabody asked you is that a requirement? We agree that we should not simply hand position to people because, hey, they're our friends, or because we feel like they've been here for so long. But if that is included as a requirement, if the prerequisites are listed and that is not being met, then I'm concerned about that. Then I'm concerned. Then I'm siding with you. But what I'm also saying here is we cannot simply dwell on gossips. What we are hearing around here, we are simply hearing gossip. We have not done due diligence to investigate what is being stated. Maybe what we can do as a platform to hopefully help our audience, we can invest sometimes in acquiring, obtaining some of this information and providing it to the public to hopefully do it. But we cannot simply, based on gossip, say, okay, she does not have it. I don't think we're being fair to her. We can also give her the opportunity to address this publicly if she wants to. If not, she could wait until that a confirmation hearing is done. Then she can provide the needed information to the Senate, and then we can have this case closed. Until then, it is at her discretion to say, I owe you no explanation. I'll wait until the confirmation hearing. But let us not continue to buy in these low gossips.
Okay, I just got
I'm not buying into the gossip, to tell you the truth. I went to do my own research, and the first place I looked, it was not promising for me, so I didn't even want to look further.
You didn't go further.
If you can, because when you work with American government and you work with United, I don't know about United Nations, as soon as they put your information up, your stuff supposed to lay out like that. When you got information, you when they're talking about schools you went to and not schools you graduated from. If you see my CV, you will see I graduated from this school, I graduated from that school.
That's your personal choice.
I'm not here to contact you. Say I went to SS County. I did not graduate from there. I have 52 credits and I left. I did not even have an associate degree at that point in time because I did not graduate.
But Grace, academic record, most time academic record are not public record though. People academic record are not public most time.
Okay,
but when you have, brother man, when you have that kind of level of appointment, now you have to make your stuff public record. We need to know. This is like, bro, we are not joking any longer. Yeah, too many criticisms were done on open.
Grace, I think the president vetted Sarah Yanti.
Let me just
and they grant her the job.
Read the release. I just given the president's office. I just received it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Presidential Affairs, January 24th press release. The President of the Republic of Liberia is pleased to nominate the following persons for appointment in government pending Senate confirmation: Madam Sarah Yanti, Minister of Foreign Affairs; Dr. J. Alexander Nita, Minister of Agriculture; Mr. Ami Moda, Minister of Commerce and Industry; Dr. Jaso Jala Segwe, Minister of Education; Dr. Luis Poto, Minister of Health; Mr. Doba Jala, Minister of Director General of Commissioner General of Liberian Revenue Authority; Mr. Ibrahim Kroman, Director of Drug Enforcement. Signed, Charles Snyder, Office of the President. I just received one from Mr. Snyder. These are the official appointments that just came up from the President again. He appointed Madam Beslow as Foreign Minister Designate, pending Senate confirmation. J. Alexander Nita, Minister of Agriculture; Ami Moda, Commerce; Dr. Jaso Jala Segbe, Education Minister; Luis Poto, Minister of Health; Doba Jala, Minister of the Commissioner General of Liberian Revenue Authority; and Ibrahim Kurman, Drug Enforcement Agency. Now, these appointments, I know most of the people on this list, I know them well too, and I think that's what we're talking about. We're seeing changes now. We're seeing new phases, okay? I see Dr. Jaso Jala Segbe from as Minister of Education. That's a lady I know very well. She's because she's a professional woman. That's an area of expertise, education, and I think she'll do a great job. I'm sure the Senate will confirm.
So she got the credentials, right?
Yeah. Luis Poto, I know Dr. Poto well, Minister of Health, Designate. Dr. Doba Jala, man, I respect him very well. He's the right man for this job. Commissioner General of Liberian Revenue Authority. Moda, my only concern with Moda, he's a businessman, and I hope he will decide what he do with his businesses, because he will be controlling business people in the country. So he'll make that decision before.
And that's your only concern, normally.
I heard he's
nephew to the president. You heard that?
I heard he's heavily indebted to banks in the country.
Okay, for Agriculture Minister, Dr. J. Alexander Nita, I got to do my research. I don't know him. Madam Sarah Yanti, Foreign Affairs. This is a woman who I believe will make a good foreign minister. But again, my people, let me say this. It's left with the Liberian Senate. And I show the president did his due diligence by vetting these people before he nominated them into the Senate. So the Senate now, if you got concern about these people, you what you can do now, you can submit your concern to the Senate, to the various committees. Like for Sarah Beslow, DeLon chairs the Committee on Foreign Affairs. That way she's going to go first. And after she goes to that committee, the committee is satisfied with her, they will do a vote and it will submit it to the full Senate for confirmation. And after that, the other people will do the same thing. So let us give the president a chance. Let us give the nominees the chance, the opportunity.
I said, brother, man, you're making me laugh. You said they don't chair.
So Tomalin, I'm sorry.
You said they don't chair. the committee in the Senate for Foreign Affairs, but they don't say we're still looking for a high school diploma. So
you got.
Oh my goodness, that's a good one.
Larry, go ahead. Larry, you want to say something?
Look, based on the names that Tomalin just mentioned, let's take a look at the critical things then that could potentially get Boyka in trouble, right? So, Ministry of Commerce, they're responsible also for job creation and bringing foreign direct investments to Liberia. Now, you have to look at who you're putting in there in terms of how will that person drive economic growth and job and foreign investments to Liberia. So that's interesting. And I hear all the rumors in terms of, money is being owed and stuff like that. This is where asset declaration comes in play, right? So we got to focus on asset declaration. And I know I'm sorry, I see Robert is here. We have to bounce to him. So let me just take this real quick. Ministry of Health, extremely important. Extremely important. Because if you don't have a healthy workforce, you're not going to be able to have that productivity in your country to grow the economy. And we have this situation where ministers, government officials, when they get sick, they leave the country and they leave the poor people in there to suffer, right? So we have to look to see who the Minister of Health is. I mean, who's going to be running the Ministry of Health and how they're going to try to improve the health delivery system. Absolutely critical. Now you see, when you have issues where you're not dealing with issues of poverty, you're dealing with issues of corruption, you're dealing with issues of foreign direct investments, then you have to worry about, okay, we have to take a look at a police director. So those are, I'm telling you, if you don't focus on those key elements that will create peace, you don't get peace and stability in your country if you don't have money, you don't have a job creation, you don't have economic growth. Otherwise, the rest is going to be crazy. Let me say this one thing that used to bother me when I used to try to hire people to work for JP Morgan on the investment banking side. I always used to be faced with this thing about experience versus credentialing, right? And the theoretical question was, if I'm standing over and I have to go through a forest, I have a old papi sitting over here who got no diploma, no high school diploma, nothing. What he does have is he's lived in that village. His grandfather lived, his father lived there, his grandfather lived there, his great-grandfather lived there, and all his life, he's managed to go through every aspect of that forest. Then you have this Harvard University graduate over here with all of his diploma, his graduate and degree. If I'm bringing tourists over to that country, am I interested in having a Harvard graduate take them through the forest, or this man with no credentials whatsoever, but tons of experience that have been passed down for generations over to him? So I was always kind of faced with that kind of, complexity, experience versus credentialing. And anyone with a sound mind who think they're going to take a Harvard graduate with no relevant experience living in that particular environment, they're going to end up stepping on something or eating something and killing themselves. So we always have to balance it out, credentials versus experience, and look at the position and see if this position requires experience versus credentials. We can't just discount people who have experience and say, oh, we have to go for the credentials. I think that is so critical, because that was one thing when we try to hire people, we always try to look at to see what is it that we need from this person. And in some instances, you will need both, but I think selecting one over the other will always create a problem. So yeah, those names that you just mentioned, I think we kind of need to focus on that as well.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Kennedy. Robert coming, but look, guys, so far, I would say this. I'm impressed with the president appointments he has made so far. I'm very impressed.
I'm glad you're impressed.
Robert coming, I'm impressed.
Yeah. First of all, let me say this one. Let me say this. One is, we as a country, look, we've got to be serious people, man. And sometimes some things just does not come off as if we're serious. And seriousness when it comes to governance and just what's right. It's not selective. It's what's wrong and what's right. We make that decision, and also what reflects our standards, right? So I want to mention one. The debate about fake degrees must be discussed by people with the credibility, platform,
thank you, man,
credibility to do so. So I want to erect it. I want to just do that checkpoint. I see people were calling me, go on Spoon, go on this. Stop. I mean, you can't be talking fake degree And then as a moderator, you have a convicted criminal who was convicted for selling fake degrees. I mean, it's just that's an oxymoron. It just does not make sense. That's one aspect I want to get out the way.
Amen. Amen, my brother.
Second aspect I want to get out the way is I really do agree that practicality and academics are two different things. And I do agree with Larry when he says that there are instances where we have to balance it out, right? And this is why leadership is important. We understand in leadership that you can't hire 3 leaders with the same strength. You have to hire leaders to balance out leaders who are weak in one area that they can pick up in the other area. But I want to be clear to the country. Just because you do not believe that degree matters, just because you do not believe degree means anything, please do not denigrate, do not talk down on folks, especially people like us who came for nothing. Our family last name meant nothing. And we are where we are today, and we are what we are by the grace of God, based on the efforts made in acquiring some level of education. If you think that education does not matter, if you think that degree does not matter, good luck to you. Kudos to you. But I'll tell you this, in this country that is predominantly controlled by successful white men, I know what it takes for Black people, especially people of accent, to climb these ladders. And experience matters, trust me. But to get in certain doors, I take my hat out to those who have gone, who have sacrificed. There are mothers, there are wives who have sacrificed to invest in the education of their husbands and their kids, only because they understand that with that opens the door for people who have absolutely nothing but that. I want to say that. Third, I also want to say that Martin Kula and his social media page should not
Collie.
be Collie. Yeah, thank you, Martin Collie. Should not be the nation's. How do I even say this? Look. This thing we're doing.
They should not be the nation vetting chamber.
We have to stop this. You know, just because Martin Kula said that this person did not have this credential or does not have this credential, that should not be taken as face value. If we are serious about ensuring that we verify the credentials of people and what they've claimed, it's very simple. If I told you I graduated from the University of Harvard University, then I should give you credentials that reflect that. 1, 2, the government, I believe, have all of the experts in place to do a thorough vetting that verifies and check information's being put to them. This is in the hands of the government. This is in the hands of the government. If I want to appoint Ben, and I'm looking at his experience and his education, I want to make sure that I have a team that have the experience in the area of vetting to ensure that the information being put forth, to ensure that his Ben Sanvee's criminal record, to ensure that his credit report have been checked. This is not done by one individual who goes on social media, goes on university pages, goes on people LinkedIn and other places to make these determinations, and it becomes a topic of national discussion. We cannot be serious with it. Last point I want to make is this. The chair on foreign affairs. Look, there's nothing that's specified in the Constitution as far as qualification is concerned. There's nothing that says that a foreign minister, or as in this country, a secretary of state, must have a certain degree. But we understand that these are not entry-level positions in government. We understand that these are positions held by top diplomats. These are career people. These are people who are involved in international relations. And I tell you this, I do not know this woman. I have never interacted with her. But this is one of the only appointments that I can say based on the record that look, the Senate must do its due diligence, right? The Senate must do its due diligence, must ask the tough questions. I don't know her education level. Let's scrutinize these folks, right? But let's be practical here. What is the qualification? What was the qualification for the last foreign ministers? Are they more experienced than her? Have they held positions at the international level? Were they entering this position with an international experience when it comes to foreign relations than her? She will go to the person, a man called Abraham Daradilla. He's the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee. What is his credentials? What does he bring to this table? What international relations has he worked? Is he a career diplomat? If you look at this country and other countries, people are put in these positions based on, yes, their academic credentials are important, but they've worked in this area. And if you think this is a joke, look and see what happened when Donald Trump appointed his last foreign minister, last Secretary of State. Look to see what happened to the last of Secretary of State of the Bush administration, Rex Tillerson. Look and see what happened to that. And so let's be practical in how we go about these appointments. I don't want to just shut all of these appointments down. I don't want to say, well, all of these are bad appointments, right? And as much as I would like to see some nuances, some new faces, some new ideas, I don't want to say they're all bad appointments. But the people, the institutions that we look to verify and confirm people's credentials cannot come from the social media page of a young man who did not disclose where he got the funding from
to build his house.
Huge project he put out on social media.
And when he was vetted, he claimed it was jealousy.
Okay, we cannot do this. We cannot give relevance to this kind of stuff. So let's ask the government. Let's ask the question, what are their credentials? And the government must have a vetting committee in place to answer these questions. But we cannot give relevance to these individuals who have absolutely no experience, no background, no education in these things but social media and a click of a button. We can't do that. And I will stop here. I will let the other guys come.
Okay, but let me say this though. Look, we're complaining. We're already complaining that the president is bringing the old people. If the promise is made, these people have not held position government before. Like for instance, the foreign minister designate that new person, the agriculture minister designate new person. Ami Modai only being he was only I think chairman of Unity Party. Okay, Dr. Jaso Jala Segbe, that new person. That's a woman there. I mean, and Dr. Louis Poto, new person. Doba Jala, he's a guy who is respected across the aisle. So but I don't understand. I don't understand why. I come in, Lofa. I understand why, because now anything that the president, anybody he nominates, will have a problem with it. Because he will send the man bring new people. He bring new people, and they'll still complaining again. I have a problem with that. And I think these appointments, as we said again, like people voted for a legislature for senators is in the hands now. President Baga have done his part. They continue to tell him nominate and seek the advice and consent of the Senate. They go down to the various committee. Who chairman agriculture? That person will deal with Mr. Nita. Ami Moda, chairman of commerce will deal with that person, that committee. The education chairman Maggie will deal with Dr. Sigbe. Come to health. The person who chairing health will deal with that one, and the person who chairing foreign affairs, they don't will deal with.
But you know who the
let me say this. Robert, let me just say this.
I come in, guys. Let me learn. I told you, give these people a chance. If you have a problem with this nomination, you have a right to that brain.
But look who's the chairman on commerce. Correction King Kong, Ellis Stoller.
Yeah, but he was elected by.
Yeah, but guys.
But here's my thing, though, Ben. Let me say this. Let me just say this.
We're not being fair with that.
Tomalin, let me say this, right? The reason why you and I sit on this platform is to do exactly what you're asking us to not do.
No.
Let me just land. Let me just land on this, right? It is okay, and it's encouraged to exhibit exactly what we are doing here, because when the names are brought up, when they are mentioned, if I disagree with it based on my view of certain criteria, it is okay for me to bring this up to the public so that they are aware of these things, so that when that person is being taken to the Senate, this citizen is aware of some of these loopholes. They can now utilize as an opportunity or that information to bring it to their senator or whoever they need to do it to. That's part of our responsibility, because not all of us have the time to invest in research. And that's the reason why thousands of Liberians will come and sit on this platform to listen to you, Ben Sanvee, and the rest of us here. So when you're able to invest time to inquiring or obtaining this information, I don't think it's a bad thing for us to criticize them or for us to have some kind of objection on these nominees. Let us invest time, and then we can look at our senators to see what they're going to do next. And quickly, Robert, I spoke about the issue on education. I totally agree that we need to value education in Liberia. No question about that. Matter of fact, in order for Liberia to move forward, we must encourage education, but not just mere education, but quality education in Liberia. It is encouraged. But when we have people using that little symbol, okay, as though it is the benchmark to everything else, then we must be the ones to say, look, there are other criteria that must be taken into consideration. In this case, experience, in addition to your education, gives you both the practical and the theory. Theory cannot take you through the rest of it. You need practicality. And this is where we feel like all of those things combined can get us across the border. But Tomalin, I think it's fair for us to start to critique all of these nominations moving forward and let the people hear where the faults are and why they should not,
I agree 100%.
Thank you.
Lofa, I agree 100%. We got to do due diligence. As I said, now you have concern about these people. When they go to the Senate, they did it to this boy. What you need? What you need? Zule? What the boy name, man?
Zolizo.
When they got ready, the people from Facebook, everything took everything and sent it to the Senate there, and they bought, and he was denied or rejected. So you have a right to go have any concern you got with these people that have been nominated by the president. You go to the Senate now. You can stay in America and send it to them. Say, look, these are my concerns. We have a concern we have with the person. And it's all right. It's a fair. Democracy is fair.
And it also right too for people like Martin Colley that you're calling Mayor Gossiper to be able to go and do his research and come up and say things, because this is a social media age. Everything is happening on social media. So if he goes and do research and bring out this information, the government too has the right to look at it, just as they have the right to listen to us here. But before I go forward with that, so Lofa, I mean, you being right now, the way you're speaking is not fair to the Martin Colley group, because we are here, we're talking, and we have the right to talk. Martin Colley, them are there, and trust me, it's not everything he says. He's not my cup of tea. I don't want to lie to you, but when they bring these things out, we have to look at it. The government have to look at it. I don't know the requirement for any position in Liberia government. I'm just saying that I know Mr. Kennedy said that if you go to the bush, he said he had this story, and you would pick the man who been there. But when it comes to a certain position, you have to look at the both, ways. Credential, education, experience has to be a part of it. Let me tell you, for you to be a foreign minister,
like the health ministry, you need someone with a doctoral, with some kind of a degree in that space to do that. I totally agree.
Exactly, sir. And the thing is, certain positions in government, especially for foreign minister, when you start to interact with the international world, the people, the first thing they say, oh, we're sending Lofa Julius, he's the foreign minister of Liberia, he coming to this place. The people going to look at your CV, quick, they're going to try to check who you are, what you have worked, what your experience is, what education you have. then they deal with you on that level.
Voila.
But that position to be given, like JMB had to really look in. I don't know what they're telling the old man, because right now he needs some late checker who giving him this information. But seriously, at this point in time, they need to look into this position that they especially the health ministry and also the foreign minister. I think they need to look into it. This is a serious thing, and we are not going to let this government slide. That's all I have to say right now.
Okay, yeah. The next person, Lofa, the chairman of Unity Party just texted me, but I would address it at the end after we finish this segment. But he heard your issue raised, so he just texted me. But go ahead, Chairman, come in though.
Yeah. First of all, and this is probably going to be the most scrutinized government ever in the history of the country, at least up to date.
I agree.
Because of the time that we live in. We live in a time where everybody is now a journalist. You just have a smartphone. You have access to, I think somebody got a WhatsApp thing. Or Tomalin, are you receiving all your WhatsApp messages?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, God, look, everybody was muted. So
everybody listening to Tomalin.
Yeah. So let me say this. I think I agree with what everybody has said. I agree with what Grace just said. I think everybody has a space in this democracy. People should have a right to dig behind people. When you make a decision to get in the public space, you lose your anonymity. You lose it. You know, once you decide that you want to get in the public space, it is the right of people will opine on your character. Now, people don't have a right to denigrate you or to blackmail you. They don't, and if they do it, there are consequences for that. But when you are in the public space, people will opine about you, about your record, especially if you want to be a minister, if you want to serve in the public space. They will grill you. We see it happen even in this country. You know, we see it happen in this country. You saw Brett Kavanaugh when he was appointed on the Supreme Court. He virtually cried during his confirmation hearing when that lady came out with the thing, right, with the allegations against him. It's a part of the process. But heck, we on this show, we're in the public space every day. Well, I don't know about y'all, but every day I know they talk about me. They cost me. They cost everything about me. I mean, Joe, we are paying my rent. Cummings were paying me. I mean, listen, this is the price you pay when you decide that you want to get in the public space. So I'm sure these nominees are fully aware of it. I'm sure they're conscious of the fact that they have decided to put themselves out there, especially and in Liberia is on steroids, because everybody feel they have a right to say anything they want to say. It is left for you to determine your cup of tea. I do believe one of the things that I am happy about, and from the appointments that I have seen so far, I don't see him. When I say him, I don't see the president lacking horns with the whole notion of it being party driven. That's one thing I'm noticing. Maybe apart from Amin Modad and one or two other persons on this list, everybody else that has been named so far have not been. They're not people who were strong actual faces in the last 2 years behind JMB. Maybe they were playing roles in the back. I stand to be corrected. But what I see here, I see a bunch of them. I mean, Dr. Louise Poto, I think Dr. Louise Poto is a medical, she's a doctor. You know, I do disagree with the point that the Minister of Health got to be doctor. Because since the foundation of Liberia, all our ministers of health been doctors. And we still get a problem with our healthcare system. I think what we probably need is a strong administrator, somebody who knows what it means to run a system, or to build a system, or to recreate, or to whatever they have to do with the healthcare system. The same thing with education. From the time we've been in the history of Liberia, all our education minister, and they say that PhD holder. Some of them get school, some of them, but we still say the education system has not worked. What I think is needed now, and I'm still waiting to see this from the JMB government. He has named 12 ministers so far, or 12, not ministers, 12 members so far. He has named 12 members of his government so far. I'm waiting to see cutting edge, outside of the box, young, progressive people who, look, I'm waiting to hear a name where the whole country stop and say, "Huh? Who is that?" I'm waiting to hear that name. Where he coming from? Then you go researching and then say, "Oh, shoot, he was working with Microsoft, or he was working with Apple, or he was, or guess what? He started a whole cooperative in Liberia. He employs 60 persons on his farm or something." I'm waiting to hear something outside of the box. But so far, so good. I'm not going to say his appointments are not good. I think Sarah Besso-Yanti has said it here before. I think she will be a great foreign minister. I think she deserves to go through the scrutiny that she's going through. She wants to be foreign minister. That is no small position. That is the dean of the cabinet. That is the only minister in the cabinet that shares the title Excellency. The only minister in the cabinet that people refer to as Her Excellency or His Excellency or Your Excellency is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So I'm sure she was fully aware of why people are scrutinizing her. Now, that don't give people the right to blackmail her, to lie on her, to say that she got a degree, and if she got a degree, to say that she faked her degree. If she makes the clarity, like I said, she never said, I've never seen or heard anything or seen anything that showed that Sarah Besso said she graduated from Cottington University. She said, I attended Cottington University. I have attended schools I didn't graduate from. I graduated from UNC, but I attended George Washington University. Simple. It doesn't mean that I graduated from there. But in Liberia, there's all this thing about, you gotta, it's all the gotcha. So my point is, and this is just my last thought on this, I think, like I said before, let us give the president the benefit of the doubt. We will critique. I agree with you, Lofa. Everybody should critique. When these names come out, go and dig behind them. These people are going to be the face of your country for the next 6 years, or for how long the president has confidence in them. Go and find out from them. But while you're doing it, just be fully cognizant that where your right ends or where your right begins is where the other person's right ends, or vice versa. Don't come and lie on the person, or don't come. But I think Martin is well within his right to do what he's doing. He's well within his right to do what he's doing. He just should do it in a professional way. And he has done some good job. You got to give him some credit. He's exposed some people with fake degrees and stuff like that. He's done some of those things. But it should not be a hatchet job. It should not be a job of, we're coming to destroy this person. No, that I would disagree with. But I think there's space enough for everybody in this democracy.
Yeah, for Keff Hassan. Keff, I know Keff. Keff is impressed with this appointment. I can tell you from our discussion we have.
Yo, man, you see, Tomalin.
Let me say this. Let me say this, Tomalin George. One of the things we were put it out, some of the allegation, we had, and a lot of allegation are people talking about corruption. They're saying that they are coming to change things. A new day, Liberia will be, a country like never before. A new sheriff in town. But your Minister of Commerce brought down FIB Bank. Your Minister of Commerce that you nominated.
What do you mean he brought down?
As we speak right now, he paying because he on audits. A lot of people say the government audits. Yeah, they audit, and he paying. He making his payment plan. As we speak right now. But you're saying, look, They're here to bring new, fresh people come in and and clean the system. But you bring in somebody who is paying because of corruption. But one thing I understand about Liberia being in politics in Liberia, first time, but I realized that people don't judge based on the issue. They judge based on biasness, who they like. You do no wrong. Liberia will see that a 5-year-old man, a boy who was 5-year-old when the war started, they call him a killer, and the actual killer who killed president, he's a hero. That's the only country I see that. You call him Koji is a killer, but Prince Johnson is a hero. He's a pastor. He's a clean man. He's a hero. They hail him. It's a country that don't judge by the issue, only because of their friends and how they feel. So they use biasness to judge. But you can search on Amin Moda. He and I had a debate on my former network. Amin Moda and the guys were there. I was surprised that they asked me how you say it, because Amin Moda and I had a debate, and I told him, if he dare me, I will bring up the information to the people, to the Liberian people. I told him that the information are there, but hey, that's the government now, so he can dare me. He can dare me now. That's the government. But when you come in the name of holiness, you are the guy who's sitting on the right hand side of God, that you will clean this system. The bad guys, our government, we so bad, they took us out of there. Matter of fact, they even want to take us out of the country. You should not come here anymore. You're so bad that you're hiring the same people. And earlier, and Ben and I were talking on the first and folks that he nominated. JB called them that they squandered opportunity. They were not doing their job. He called Grisby that Grisby was squandering opportunity. He was not doing his job. That's what JB said. He condemned all of them that he hiring today. He condemned them. He said they were not doing their job. But he turned around and hired them again. He said implementation was the problem. They were there sitting down, doing nothing. So how can you come and hire the same people that you said they were not doing anything? Don't folks say, hey, that good thing. But that's what Liberia is all. That's what Liberia is all about. Liberia is about. Liberia politics is about affiliation. Liberia politics is about I don't like you, and I don't care what you do. I don't like you. Liberia politics is so different. Then you do the same thing over and over that you expect to get a beautiful result. No. Imagine in Liberia. Grace touched on it a little bit. Imagine in Liberia, a man. Somebody needs to mute. A man who doesn't have a degree. They're going to question Sarah for a degree. Come on now, guys. They're going to question Sarah. They're going to push her. Where's your degree? Where's your degree? You see, The reason I don't give Martin credence in everything, because I know I'm sitting here. I wake up early in the morning. I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. Took train to DC. Went to school. He told Liberian people, all my people were fake. He said it, even though I know I woke up and I went to school. So why would I believe somebody like that? He did the same thing to me. And I'm glad that nobody listened to him. Prove that he fake. I was reading some posts saying it just made me laugh, saying that you're sitting somewhere talking about fake degree and that place. I think Robert spoke about it. That's Liberia for you, Robert. That's Liberia for you. And they will support it. They will support it because they like you. You're talking in their interest. You do no wrong. So you can manufacture fake degree and question another person for fake degree, and they agree with you. Do people expect Liberia to change? I rest.
Can I come in? Tomalin, please.
This guy, one of our guest panelists, he just wanted to say he watching the show. Johnny KM in Debbie, he said, "Let me disagree slightly with the information that a minister of health should be a medical doctor. I think the health minister should be someone with a strong background in health system management, coupled with integrity." So I just wanted to teach him and show you all that for him. So okay, go ahead, Robert.
Thank you. I don't know when it was, but I think that it was the other day. We were talking about something. I just lost my train of thought on that, but I know it's gonna come back. But listen, yeah, look, I think that everyone, well, it was citizenship. Great example. There are those who were questioning Onati Kofa's citizenship, and we all here agree that the burden of proof was on them. That all the speaker needed to say when asked if he went to court, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" All he needed to say was, "I'm a Liberian." That's it. But before this whole process, can we mute ourselves, please? Before this whole process, there were people like what Martin does, who was online already showing us that the man was a U.S. citizen. How did they obtain those documents? There are people in our country who actually believes that. And so I'm not against Martin and others doing what they need to do. They have rights. But Ben said it profoundly. Where your right ends is where another begins. Here is the point that I'm saying. In this country, there are processes to apply for visa or to apply for studying abroad. Okay, you have to go to attestation. It's not a person on social media. Look, we got to get serious as a country, my people, man. We can't just say because John Paul got right to do what John Paul do, then they become the institution that authenticate serious document. We're talking about the foreign minister here. And you want us to take Martin post on social media in his investigation seriously as the credible institution that verifies? Are you kidding me? We can reduce ourselves to this, man. We can do this kind of stuff. I'm not against the young man. Kudos to what he does. But when do we start building institutions that even if people like Martin and others come and say, this information is A, Y, and Z, we want the process to go through the credible institutions that have the mechanism in place to really verify and say, look, this is right or this is wrong. We can't be dependent on social media and people post. Yes, people have the right to give their opinions. People have the right to scrutinize. That's fine. But as we scrutinize, we must have institutions that we can say, you know what? This is right. The other day we were talking about the list we received. about the nomination. There were people who said, in fact, there was a very intelligent woman on social media who said, "Well, I don't believe that until I see a signature." It's not on the E-Mansion website. It's not on the Executive Mansion website, on the official Executive Mansion website, and there are no signature on there. And to her point, she had a point. So you can question people's academic credentials. That's fine. Look, it's very simple. If you don't have the degree, don't claim the degree. Simple as that. If you went to Harvard for 1 year, you did not graduate from Harvard, and you graduated from UMC, what's the essence of even putting on your resume that I went to Harvard?
I know.
What are you trying to say? That you graduate from Harvard? Our resume must be a testament to what we've earned.
I agree.
What the processes that we've gone through. If you didn't graduate from Georgetown University, but you were there for a semester, and God forbid your mom died, your father died, your cousin died, your son died, and you left there, let that be history. What's on your resume is what we want to know. Have you earned a degree? What university you earned a degree from? Not what university you went to. Imagine if we were putting all the high school that went on our resume until we got to the high school we graduated from. It doesn't matter. But we as a people, there are people who in our country who would die for degree business. Degree is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, right? But look, you don't have to be a doctor to be the smartest. You don't have to be a counselor to be the smartest. You can be a janitor, and we must respect people in those areas who have worked, who have earned their rights in whatever field that they're in. But the bottom line here is we cannot take Martin words on social media as the rightful institution with all of the expertise, with all of the mechanism in place to verify, to attest to people's documents and people's credentials. In serious country, this is not done this way. So we're in the 21st century. What would it take for the government to invest in an institution that actually verifies? The vetting committee could look to these institutions to help them in the vetting processes. In this country, to have a minister of foreign affairs or commerce position, key top positions, you gotta have a police clearance. Why you think you need a police clearance for high-level security positions, for classified information? There are processes. You can just take one police officer and say, "Oh, the man was arrested 10 years ago, and he was arrested because he was drinking," and we must take that as So what if he was arrested? Did he go to the process? Did he go to the legal process? What did the legal process say? You need the institutions in place to do these verifications for us, not individuals. And I will close on this note. We are very biased in that country. This is the reason why we need independent institutions that authenticate these things. Martin has a political link. Whether you like him or not, whether you like him or not, I don't always see him as balanced. I don't, to be honest. He's done some good jobs in some cases. Yes, he's done some good jobs. But look at what happened to the young man, Zola Zo. I don't know that man. Yes, he may have made some mistakes, but what social media presented were by far not the facts. And what did the Senate do? What did the House do? They use social media information without any verification of their own, without any due diligence of their own, to make critical decisions. My friend, in this century, we cannot keep joking and playing this way. We cannot keep joking and playing this way. We can't do that.
Okay, Grace will be leaving us soon, so let her just give her closing statement. Go ahead, Grace.
Yeah, and I just want to say, Mr. Gakwa, you are right. They need to create those kinds of institutions to be able to verify. But you have to understand too, social media is the way of the red flag. So when those things are put on social media, the government can look at it too. Even I have one of my friends that work with another company. She was able to break a big case here in America because she was working on this case. They're not allowed by requirement to go on social media for this, for information on people. But she used social media. And when she used social media, it was not right for her to use. But then when the case broke out, the company really appreciated her using social media. So we're not saying that they should use Martin Colley's social media, investigation to actually go word from word and accept it. But what we're saying, if the red flag is put out there through social media, the government has to open an investigation on whatsoever they need to do, so that they can have the right people in place. So the institution create for them to create an institution. You are very right on that part. And I also just want to reiterate on, if you on your resume, if you don't graduate from the school, it's no need of you putting that there. You crowding space. People who do employment hiring, they don't want to see. In fact, so as soon as they see that on your resume, they just push it one side because it's a waste of time to read all that stuff. Like me, if I go start putting all the school I went to, or it would be a full page. Yeah, it would be a full page, especially from my high school. So, I would have to put PIB Harvard, MC, JJ Rowers, all those schools. I went to them, but I graduated from MC in the 12th grade. So, those little things, we need to be able to put it out there so like we can do better, and that's all we are saying. And there should be requirements, for these positions. It's about time librarians have, librarian government have requirements, to step-by-step requirements for people to hold certain position in the country. Like here, if you work, in government, you have to, after for a position, first you have to take a test. You have to pass that test over a certain percentage. Then you go for an interview. They have to interview you. After the interview, they look at your resume. Then you go for the second interview. They interview again, and then the recruiters decide whether they will pick you or not, or if somebody else, have more credentials and education and experience than you, and they pick that person. So we should have all that in place, but it will take time. Liberia is behind the countries that are behind. Quote from Dr. Moniba, Liberia is way behind countries that are behind. And for us to get there, we start from somewhere. And this is where we start from. We are just saying this government needs to do better. We complain about the last government with all these things that are going on right now. It was happening in the last government. We all claim that it was happening. We saw some of it happening. Some of it was not true, and people said it. But now we expect this government to do the right thing. Liberia has been rescued. Yeah, Liberia has been rescued. Joseph Parker is president. We want them to do the right thing. So we are calling on the Senate to look into to the red flags that are on social media, but you have to create your own investigation team to make sure that you put people in position that warrant the position and that can do better for our country. That when they step into the international space, when the people say, Mr. Chairman Ben Sanvee is coming, the people he coming to interact with, they already know his entire portfolio. They know who they're talking to, so they can be able to give Liberia what she needs at this time, according to the person that represents the country. Because all those things happen in the international space. When you go to meet people and you don't have the right credentials and you don't have the right experience and education, the people look down at you when they're ready to interact with you concerning the country. And that's just all I have to say. I want to thank you guys for having me here. I have to go because I have another meeting at 7. And I wish you guys the best. I'm always available. If you want me on, just call me. I will be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Grace. Guys, some run out of time. That we just do our closing. But
yeah. I'm right here.
Lofa, Chairman Tapper says that the issue is he says that he's in the first. He would have come to address the issue, but he's in a presidential meeting right now, so he cannot come. But he said to let the people know that the story on front page is a misinformation about him. It's not true, and that the issue I released on it today and to address it. But he said he was not involved in NN money for the inaugural celebration. So I hope.
Okay, and I'm glad you brought this up, because these are the things we're supposed to be talking about. Not some kid who wants to discuss and gossip. I don't want to discuss that. I want to discuss the actual issue here. The issue here is the rescue team that came to rescue us already started with the issue of corruption. They told us they will be transparent. How many, including the president, have declared the asset and published it? Because this was something that they ran on. How far are we with the entire process of asset declaration? Remember when they said what President George Weah was involved with? Here's what we want to focus on. We want to focus on these little things. Corruption is indeed a part of the problem in Liberia. Okay? And that's why President Weah was voted out of office. President Weah was voted out of office simply because Liberian assumed that the problem solver would have been President Joseph Boakai. And that's it. So we would not sit here and ignore these things when these things are still on major news outlets. Who stole the money? If the money was given to district heads and other people, we want to know who took the money, because that in itself is corruption. You don't have to be in government before you are found corrupt. This is part of our problem. Corruption don't start at the government level. It start from right in the communities, and then it grow up and until it gets there, where people come and just enrich themselves at the expense of the suffering masses. So what we want to focus on here, we want to know if the money was not taken by Chairman Tappet, fine, he can come and make that again clarification. We will appreciate it, but we still want to know, where did the funds go, who was involved, why were they involved, and we want to know as to whether they're going to investigate these individuals, so that tomorrow when we start seeing names being mentioned or nominated, and we see these same individual names on the list, then we can start questioning, but why? An example, and I close on this note, an individual whose name was mentioned in the issue of generator theft, name mentioned again or nominated to go and serve Liberian. When your name was mentioned in some article involving generator theft.
Who's that? Oh, is that Terry Genesis?
There you go. And then your name get mentioned.
Terry Genesis is not mentioned. Is he appointed?
No.
No, I'm saying
okay.
I said if.
I thought.
And that's the reason why what I'm saying here is, if these low things are investigated.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah, he's there.
Okay, there you go. So you think these people actually worked all their days and hours because they just love Liberia? They want something in return. So when these low things are investigated and we are provided information on them, when their names are mentioned or when they're nominated, we will come right back here and say, hold on. Wasn't this guy a part of the inaugural funds theft thing that we talked about? That's what we are talking about here, and that's why we need to highlight these things.
Well, guys, we got 1 minute. We're gonna close.
Yeah, let me just let me just close real quick, Doc, and I'll be real fast. But first, I want to say to some of the people commenting, especially Abigail Tier, who says that she has a BSc in fainting. I mean, you're going to have to go to church and say some 12 Hail Marys for that comment, because that is just not called for. It's totally uncalled for. But here's the thing. No matter who, and this is such an interesting show, because no matter who the president nominates, he's not going to please everybody. You will always have people who will criticize it, some people will support it, and you will always have this combat going on, because it's just the old saying, Bob Marley said it in that song, you cannot please all of the people all of the time, So here's the deal. And again, it's kind of interesting that people have only been nominated. It's like registering for a class, and I'm giving you an F before you even sit into the class on day one, because some people are already failing and they've only been nominated. So it's really interesting. And let me say this final note. I think if the president nominated all men, we would have an issue with it, right? Because there has to be some social equity in the country. So the Sarah being nominated as foreign minister, she does have the academic credentials as well as a ton of experience. But and you have to look at the social equity portion of it, because even here in the U.S., if President Kennedy didn't push forth affirmative action, so many Black people wouldn't have been given the opportunities to prove themselves. And just in the interest of social equity sometimes, and not to say that she's not qualified, right? She has the qualification, but people will criticize if he doesn't have a balance of women in his administration as well, because women do have a majority in the country, but they're not given equal opportunity to serve. So I think it's fair that he does it to someone who is qualified. And let's wait. Let's go through the confirmation hearing and everything, right? And let's see what happens at the end of the day. And then we can also have the debate on how long we should wait before we start grading them, because they've only been nominated And some people are pissed off. And to the last thing, to Ben Sanvee's point in terms of taking criticism from the media, he's right. There's a reason why public officials do not win cases of slander, right? There's a reason for that. So it's okay for people to go out and vent their frustration and do all this thing and say all this thing, but at the end of the day, Boyka will not be able to satisfy everybody all of the time, and we just need to agree with that and live with that and move on.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Guys,
Thank you. Let me say this. You know, I think I don't have any question when it comes to the resume of the individual appointed so far. They are great. I think they've worked in government. They've served well. My only reservation here is when will people retire from certain areas? You know, one thing about the Liberia system is our elders don't like to retire. They don't like to retire. That's why you have a 80-year-old president right now, because our elders do not like to retire. They want to work until they die in office. That's one of the problems they have. And I don't know what we'll have the young generation. When we'll bring our young generation, like Larry said earlier in our conversation, discussion, you got thousands of students that graduated from AME University, University of Liberia, AME Zion, and all those places, UMU, every year. You have people who have worked in these agencies for decades or so, and they have been in the same position for over 10 or 15 years. If they don't know anybody in government or not affiliated with any government, even they may be qualified in that position, they will not be promoted, because when it comes to promotion, it's not based on merits. It's based on who knows you, who you know, or who you related to. It's not based on merit. So some of these people stay in the position until they either leave the country or they die. And I think what I would like to see a lot more young people who are expertise in today's modernization when it comes to high tech, when it comes to all these things. I mean, the book that Sylvester Grisby read 30 years ago is no more in the system. I mean, those books, nothing, because every year technology and other things are advancing. We all see that. I mean, college that we went through, the books that we use, and those new things are coming up now. There are new ways to do things. Why are you bringing people back from the old order from 10, 20, 30 years ago? And some of those policy and things don't exist anymore. And you are bringing them to serve the government. What kind of change you expect them to bring? And you talk about having experience, or they got the well experience and this and that. I don't think so. Because one have to continue, Larry is a professor, and you have to continue to read and publish journal, and even at some time publish a book and things like that. You got to do it. What are these people record for the past 10 years when they were not a minister of foreign affairs? Did they publish any professional journal that people are benefiting from today and things like that? Or you bring these same people rather than the very young people that have been graduating with all that? I think I want to see some young faces. I don't want to question the redemption. I want to see some young faces, but I think they serve at the will and pleasure of the president. But in regards to the money that got missing, I think it's too early. Very, very early to start stealing. Very early. And I mean, I'm not trying to personally get to Mr. Reverend Luther, but people. Somebody said it one time that he's a little bit slippy when it comes to finances and stuff like that. And I begin to see it. And that's what.
Let me do my point.
Let me say my thing. Somebody said it. Famous talk show said it. So it's nothing to say. It's too early. That all I got to say is just too. It's just too early, gentlemen. Don't embarrass President Barker. It's just too early to start chipping in some of my money and things like that. It's too early. That's all I got to say.
Okay, guys, look, sorry we're running out of time, but look, let me say this. I'll come back to defend the administration again.
My man, you the moderator, man.
Let the administration send a spokesperson to defend them.
Yeah, my man. If you want to officially declare yourself as
let me do my closing.
Defender on this
somebody say something, then you say you gotta can't defend. You gotta can't defend.
Let me do my closing. Robert, I beg you, let me do my closing shot. You know, because I'm trying to get some.
Go ahead now. Go ahead.
Listen, I wish Lofa can count. Lofa, don't listen. I wish you could count. Don't listen to what Luther is saying. You know, like Dr. Peabody said, you know, a lot of people told her this gentleman has a history of sticky fingers. So don't listen to that. This man, it was alleged that he burned his own house for money. So please, please stop. You're seeing on social media.
I'm glad you said alleged.
You know,
not facts.
So we can listen. If you want, he can kind of defend himself. But I believe what Dr. Peabody said. We all heard our rumors that he got a sticky finger, and you're going to see more.
Let me close.
Stop saying that.
Kev and Dr. Peabody. Yeah, you guys are
man.
But listen,
look, why are you waiting back to laugh?
Tomalin, man. I mean, you might pass the test for information minister though, because the way you're coming off now these days. I mean, let people kind of defend themselves. Start defending them all.
But let me say something. I received a text from him. Yeah, man.
Let me close. Listen.
That's not invalidating the text messages.
Listen, on a serious note, I think that experience matters, and I think that we need our elders. I can't tell you how much I appreciate my dad. We need our elders, right? But we are hiring people, to address, 21st century issues that are, 50 years older than the 21st century. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. And the sad part about that is these are not guys who understand, well, even if I was born in the 1930s or the 1940s, or even if I'm 80 years old, as a leader, I understand that I need more young people around me to address who understands today's issues, right? And maybe until we look into giving the opportunity to young people, 35, 45 years old. I mean, we had a 40-something-year-old young man in the race, right? With a lot of brilliant ideas and things like that. But until we start hiring people who understands what 21st century leadership is, will continue to run into some of these issues. And I agree with Larry. I do not know Miss Sarah. I want to give her the opportunity. I do know that she's friendly internationally. She has some connections. She worked with some of these folks, and this is what I like to see. She worked with some of these people that she's going to have to engage on the international stage on behalf of our country. She understands the diplomatic language, I believe, just based off of her own experience, and let the Senate do its due diligence. With regards to this whole stolen money thing, man, I would say I would give the Reverend the benefit of the doubt. Let the Reverend come on, let the Reverend clarify what's going on, and let understand what are they going to do to really get to the bottom of this. But I will give Reverend Tapper the benefit of the doubt to give clarity to this issue. Thank you.
Yes, let me do my closing. I agree with you, Robert. I will give him the benefit of the doubt myself. I don't know about Peabody and Keff sticky finger theory, but it is their right, though. It is their right, and that's why they said alleged. I think they are covered legally. Just for the record, this is not the thoughts from Peabody and Keff is not from a closing argument. So judges, now I think Tomalin will be the clarity. Well, no, I'm just joking.
Oh man, people went after Twitter. They went after everybody else.
I say I respect your right. I respect your right. I didn't respect it. I didn't disagree with you. You have a right. I'm sure you got that intel from somewhere that he does have sticky fingers.
Ben, I like the shirt, man.
Thank you. Thank you, by the way. But let me say this, right? I am not shocked. I am not shocked. Again, presidents appoint people who they have confidence in. So far, let me say, I see the name of 3 women on his cabinet. DEA not on the cabinet. So I mean, he's made a total of what, 12 appointments, 12 or 15 appointments, right? I believe about 6 or 7 of those appointments are direct ministers on his cabinet. 3 women so far. It's impressive. And I may add, 3 qualified women.
Yes.
Impressive. We must give him kudos for that. He is on track. If he stays on this trajectory,
Tomalin clapping you.
Tomalin acting like cheerleader tonight.
Take it easy, bro. Take it easy.
Hey, you come like you go endorse. You come like endorse you play so early.
I was just play that video where we were dancing with Costa. Yeah, I was seeing easy flows.
I was about to do that. At the end of the show.
So we can remind them.
Ben, you know something in that video? The VP won.
Yeah, they also the day after they won, they sent it to me too. All of them were sending it to me. Amara sent it to me. Jerry Coon sent it to me. Mo Ali, all of them. I told her, I said it's a very historic video, by the way. But let me say this. I think so far he's on the right track when it comes to gender participation, right? He's right now at 40-something% of women.
I agree.
If he stays on this trajectory, he will be doing something that has not been done in the country's history, even when we had a female president. All right. So I congratulate the president for that. The second thing I will say is that I hope and pray that the Senate do its due diligence, because now the ball is in their court.
Thank you, buddy.
That is why the Constitution is very clear when they say appointment with the advice and consent of the Liberian Senate. They are the direct representative of the Liberian people. They should go ahead and vet these people. And where the executive fell short in its vetting, that's why that check and balance is in place. So they should be able to go and dig deeper. Now, understand some of these nominees have to be confirmed very quickly. Like the Minister of Foreign Affairs, because I think next week or the following week she has to be out of the country.
Next week.
Right? Yeah. So I understand what may happen. They may need a quick, so maybe they should schedule her Senate hearing for maybe tomorrow or the day after. Pretty much. They have to be done quickly. If they have to work on the weekend, they will have to work on the weekend. With that being said, I think we will give the president the benefit of the doubt. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Again, like I said, I'm impressed that it's not party driven. I don't see a lot of stalwarts and DAD, Unity Party people or MDR people. I think this is governance. Politics is politics. Election campaigning is election campaigning. In fact, they were not doing it for jobs anyway, so there shouldn't be no problem here.
Headquarters to go work.
Exactly. They were doing it because they love the country. So there should be no problem here. If the president makes a determination that he wants consummate professionals in his cabinet who may not here or there be members of his party, I think the country should give him the benefit of the doubt. But I do believe that he will be inclusive of his party and his alliance that brought him to power. I want to say that on the issue of whether what happened with Luther Tapper and the money and all of that, I saw the Unity Party issue a statement today. I think they need to go a little further than that. I think they need to go a little deeper than that. I'm also more interested in where they got the $300 and something thousand from. You know, I'm understanding that this was a gift from the president. Where did the president get $380 something thousand from to just give to his party?
Did they say that?
But they said the president gave them this money. Am I wrong on the show? Can somebody correct me?
No, you're not.
This was a gift. This was a gift, and nobody's talking about that.
So
from the president.
They just threw him under the bus because we know JB got no $300,000.
Where did the president get $385,000 United States dollars to give to his party to celebrate the inauguration? Did it come from government coffers? Did it come from government coffers? I think for me, I think that's the important thing. And maybe I know
that's a lot of money, though. That's a lot of money.
A lot of money. That's almost half of the inaugural budget.
That's a lot of goodwill. You know that.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of goodwill. So
there's a lot of goodwill. I agree. But
if you can give them 3, I want to know how much you got.
Yeah, my thing is, my thing is, right? There's a lot of goodwill. I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that, right? There is a lot of goodwill. All I'm saying is $385,000 is more than $250,000.
Absolutely. That's a lot of
the president of the Republic of Liberia made available $385,000 to his party. To celebrate the inauguration. Listen, if this was George Weah, United Party would be calling for protests. I know that.
That's true.
George Weah said that the houses that he built, he used his own money. And United Party we almost literally overthrew George Weah.
Yeah.
Let me say.
Had a protest on us. Yeah.
I mean, let's be frank.
But Ben, I'm not sort of. But this is serious. Almost $400,000. You can't just say it came from the president.
Well, that's
where the money from?
That's why I'm saying. For me, that is the issue. That is the news. The news here is The news here is not Luther Tappe taking telling them to take 1,000 from each county. It's the $385,000 that President Joe Walker gave to his party.
Who stole the money?
Right? So, listen, guys.
Who did he give it to? Who gave it to the people?
Hopefully, we can ask this question. Maybe we can seek some clarity from the office of the president. The president can make it clear where he got his money from. He can say, listen, I got it from my bank account.
They all told you where to go to $55,000 from first.
Well, so those are some of the things that I think that are a little concerning for me. But let's wait and see. He's the president of the country. And we wish him well. We wish the president well. I want him to succeed. And I think he has a responsibility to do the things that he needs to do. I congratulate all of the new nominees. Congratulate Sarah Beslo-Yanti. I think she will make a fine Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Yeah,
I've been listen, I feel vindicated because I've been one of the few people who have always said, Tomalin, even from back in the day, I've always said any president of Liberia should consider Sarah Beslo-Yanti as Minister of Foreign Affairs.
She's a great choice. She's a word.
I'm so proud that the president has made this decision to nominate her. I'm hoping she passed the Senate test and let her go on the world stage.
She will. She will.
Can I just say something real quick? Somebody said earlier, it appears as though Lofa Julius know this woman. The God in heaven, okay? I never, not even text message.
Lofa.
Okay? No, Keff. Sometimes, Keff, there are certain things you see, you get irritated when people do these things to you. Let me address this. There are reasons why some of us choose to address certain things. We don't do it simply because we want to give people relevance. People need to understand that the reason why some of these things are brought to the public is because we cannot continue to just blackmail other people because of our personal greed. It's not fair to that woman. It could be you tomorrow, Keff. I will defend you. It could be Ben Sanvee tomorrow. Ben knows how I went at him when people started talking about the 45K. And eventually, when Ben and I sat not in corner, not at his house, not at my house, on my show, and we discussed, that was it. And I used that opportunity to educate other people on some of these things. When people start running around, oh, Lofa know that lady, or Lofa probably, this is where the rumors start, and we must nip it in the real end. That's all I'm saying here. I never met her before. The first time I ever heard of that lady was when the nomination, the process started. And matter of fact, it was during the election. So let us not run around with these rumors. Let us stop lying about these things. I don't know her, never met her, don't intend on communicating with her. Like I said today, I have no intention of pursuing any government job, and that's why I can freely speak about anything I want to talk about. Not today, not tomorrow, not in the near future, as I'm personally posed. I'm not seeking any government
Let me, Lofa, let me just. This is my 30 second. My 30 second. Where you cut me off from?
Whatever.
Let me just let the people at Bureau know. No, let me just let the people at Bureau know that today. Let me just let the people at Bureau know, and maybe the members of the Unity Party know that you know how I know Joe Boyka is serious. I did get a call today from people close to him and people close to the administration, and I'm not going to call the person's name. Inquiring from me. The possibility. No, let me stop. I don't want to go there. I don't want to cause
the possibility of you getting a job.
No, not job. Yeah, but let me just say this.
Meanwhile,
but we thank the president for his nomination.
Meanwhile, guys, look. Next week Monday, I repeat again. Next week Monday, the president will give his first sona to the nation, the joint session of the legislature, and wherever, no matter how he addresses it, we hear the speech. We wish him well, and then. I'm also getting information here that the MDR of PYJ is getting a little bit nervous, but I told them, but they should relax. They relax. They relax.
But no. Listen, we defend the president here.
Yeah, we defend the president.
The MDR got the vice presidency. Yes. The MDR has the vice presidency. That is a heartbeat away from the presidency. If the president gave them 1 or 2 jobs on the cabinet, they should go ahead. They didn't do this thing for jobs, like I keep reminding people. That didn't give the man a chance to form his government.
No, but Ben, you can't say that. You don't know the conversation held between PYJ and.
Whatever that thing, we're going by the Constitution now.
And by the way, Ben,
going by the Constitution now. No laws, nothing supersedes.
So Ben, you're saying that the Bible.
PYJ?
I'll
call my papi.
But why, Ben? Why don't you bring that on the show?
That's your
feel.
Well, then bring on the phone. We got questions.
Move Keff on the show. We got to move Keff on the show.
No, I agree. I represent Kevin myself.
But PYJ let people who can challenge. Got Tomalin challenging on spoon. Tomalin asking for dough body. And here Tomalin here PYJ.
Listen. The last person that PYJ encouraged and say, calling your friend, he called Do my friend. Guess what he do? Tomalin.
I don't go to the church. First of all, don't tell me that thing.
The last person PYJ said, my friend.
But guys, look, great show, guys. Look, we have a duty to the country. People take us serious. People watching this show from all walks of life and all sides of the aisle. And I'm happy that the VP always watch this show, and he went our biggest.
Shout out to Vice President Jeremiah Cancun.
And this guy, let us continue to pray for our country. We wish the government well. Tomorrow will be more appointments coming in. So and the thing is that I enjoying you guys. So far, you guys are doing a great job. We are critically scrutinizing people. So some people don't understand, but.
Kev, get out this damn it. Get out, Kev. Why you always let us highlight the call? Yeah. The things that they put talking about me, I don't want you let us put up.
Kev is, you see him? He kept it on purpose, you see? Yeah, and he laughing.
So guys,
he's pretending like he's not hearing you. Hold up. I know who to bring on the show. I invite somebody I know.
But no, we wish the president and the government well. Let's see what happens. But again, so our UP friends, I know they are complaining. But the Ben said, somebody said earlier, it's not about party. It's about the country.
About governing the country.
They govern the country, So the cabinet minister he has announced.
Let all the UP people stay in the party.
And the lady, I know her very well. She will do a good job. Jasso,
I'm hearing a lot of good things about the education lady.
I know her very well.
She's cutting edge.
From Rhode Island days. We live in Rhode Island for many years.
In fact, 2 minutes. Somebody just texted me and said, Ben, watch out for the education minister. The things that you are talking about, going to Silicon Valley, doing things. She is going to be doing those things. So you never know. And guess what? If she not know, if she was making noise, you probably would not hear. So
I'm glad. I'm glad she's a female. I'm glad she's a female and she bring a lot of thing to the education department because the last minister was retired, didn't have much energy as well to lead the education ministry. So I'm glad to bring in someone.
Don't you commend President Boyka? He's doing.
Tomalin, dedicate your entire page to President Boycott and let us.
Let me tell you something.
Our audience are asking for the opportunity to call. It's not going to be tonight. I just want to highlight that the next show.
I'm looking at her credentials.
Tomalin,
She's solid.
Chris Matthews.
She's solid. I'm not the one, Ben. Ben, you know, I will not get.
She has an ED, a doctorate in educational leadership from Delaware State University.
Delaware. She lives Delaware.
That's who you need. That's who you need.
That's great.
Great credential. Yeah, man. That's a great credential. I applaud him for that. Those are the kind of people we need.
And she's an AVP. She's an assistant vice president for Office of Student Success at Delaware State University.
I'll call my uncle tomorrow to tell him thank you for that.
Wow.
I applaud you for that.
I must applaud him for that.
President Bogart is doing the thing that LeBron wanted all along.
Yes. Put people in.
But there are a few missteps here that we must bring to his attention as well.
Well, the Senate will do the due diligence.
Oh, what happened?
Who listening to this one?
Henry, we listen to another station. Henry listened to another station while on his.
Well, I thought I would call you. I think.
No, Henry, listen to me.
Why don't take at least 5 calls and call it a day?
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, Sterling, take 5 calls.
Okay, I can't take calls, but Henry take calls.
Oh, what happened to your something, Judah?
I'm not sitting in the studio. I'm just sitting right here because I was running late. I didn't want to be too late, so I just sat here, not in the studio.
But Judah, we got to organize one of that thing in the future. You're not around, so we can take some calls.
I'm going home in April. We'll get that. I'll do that right in the studio before I leave, by God's grace.
Okay.
All right, guys.
So, who took the cookie from the cookie jar?
So that's it, right? We'll see.
So we'll see Friday.
Who ate the district money?
By the way, guys, we still bring in the soccer player in the
yes, on Saturday. It all set. Saturday we'll have Benedict. Benedict.
But Tomalin, I gotta talk to you in the back door about the.
You got our first caller.
Coach. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
How are you? Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, and you?
Oh, Prince Manuva, calling from Broadway, Virginia.
Go ahead, Prince.
I just called to register something going on in your agency that I work in that is not satisfactory to read a civil servant in here.
What's that agency?
You know, I work at GSA.
Okay.
Okay, for the fact that when there's a transitional period when personnel take over, immediately the HRO take over the agency on the order of the appointment can be made. Okay, but then there was difference in the morning. When I brought ran into, I say our agency now because she no more being director general there. Arrogantly entered here, started insulting, causing, just picking force at everybody. Later on, we saw a group of police came and seized our entry. You can do your funny, do your follow-up, but you call and do a clarity. Police came and barricaded at GSA compound, inconvenience all. We said, okay, anyway, you have been a demagogue of the country, but in a foreign manner, I think you are infringing on our right. The HRO in charge of this thing. You got no right to do what you do. Please, your work on it. Please save my integrity and protect my job.
Okay, thank you.
I said to call speed and speed. She no more director for all. She had no right entering the police and other things. And one more thing, she get one and it found it. A huge gentleman was in America there in King Daniel to him who get go. There's another criminal in stole from our warehouse there. So let's go from the other thing. She's now lobbying now for a job for him in the C agency. So please.
So let me just hold you there. The intervention of the police, was they also able to like get both sides of the story, maybe like acquiring from you guys?
She brought police to intimidate us or to put fear in or restrict our movement in the compound for which she is no more director there.
She's still the director until they appoint somebody.
They will get information clear.
Okay, thank you.
And please say what's all Ibrahim.
I wish Madam Broy, I wish out to get a clarification. I wish out to Madam Broy.
But am I right, guys? Is she not still the director until they appoint somebody?
You're talking about memo, but I won't know.
Okay.
She has no revenue police in the agency here, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
And one more thing I want to do for me there.
What's there?
Save my number. Don't give it to anybody. Don't do any other thing. I'm a whistleblower. Make sure the team go to a hub because people can arrest you. Who have people harassing us? We should lay as peaceful as possible.
Okay, sir. Granted.
Our salary was cut down by 60%. When they become president, we are want to include some member of the civil service. He didn't dismiss anybody for the group. Until now, raise all to 75,000.
It's okay. It will be restored. It will be restored, brother.
Okay.
So please.
Now you be restored.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
770-17635.
I get a call, Henry. Okay, go ahead, caller.
Kev, anyway, let's take the call from Liberia first.
Oh, you got call from Liberia? Huh?
And a USA call from you?
No, Liberia.
Oh, okay, then go ahead.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, hello, Kev.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. Kevin Ben, I get a problem with you, but this is Ishiaka Sherry, the former assistant minister.
All our former minister.
Thank you guys for the program. I look forward to your invitation one day to serve as one of the guest contributors. But I think what had caught my attention is this Sarah Beslo-Yanti's nomination by the president. I think it's good, but I think we need to be serious in the country if we want to move the needle, okay? You have a nominee who's going to appear in front of a committee, a nominee going to appear in front of a committee whose head is a straight university dropout, for example. I think Martin Colley and other guys should have first questioned the Senate, for making Senator DeLong chairman on the Foreign Affairs Committee. That is not any ordinary committee. That is the Foreign Affairs Committee that is going to drill, to question, and to review the credentials of ambassadors, the credentials of the foreign minister of the country. And this guy is a university dropout. I think it is wrong. The Senate should have first been questioned as to why they did that. Because to move forward, we need a set example. We need to set it. We can have a university dropout questioning the credentials, of a foreign minister, ambassador to the UN, ambassador to Japan, ambassador to this, ambassador to the UK. How serious are we going to be? So, this is just my candid opinion. I think we should have questioned the Senate first for doing what they did.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ishaka. You can go ahead. I think we're running out of time.
Good morning.
Yep.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing fine.
Yeah, Nifra, why are you joining us?
My name is Isaac Dennis. I'm calling from the Yellow Junction, same town, respectively.
Okay, as a 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yeah. My attention is actually being drawn to the issue that is circulating in technical character of Reverend Luther Tappe. You see, in this country like we already have to stand for order and integrity. I strongly want to detail the statement that Reverend Tappe and have been caught in the court is that this fellow, he is oppressing that is very much integrous. It is not because he's in the circle of politics that people will just rub his name in his mouth. And I can assure you that he will never be caught in such act. Thank you for giving me the time to call.
Okay, thank you. 077701765. Placing your call to form part of the discussion here on the closing argument. To this caller, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I can't work away from your monitor.
I'm finding away from you, sir. Are you receiving me well, sir?
Your name from where you join us?
My name is Joe Fumo. Directly, I join you from the Gambaso campaign, more especially district number 3, adjacent the former representative compound, Pension SD with it, sir.
Okay, from Grand Basso. Go ahead, 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Chief, everything that has been said on the media, all Liberians are focused to know that indeed we have one umbrella to honor go. No discrimination and no implementation directly. We are now on the presidential order of Joseph Newman Barker right now. There's no discrimination. All Liberians should have one goal. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. We should have one goal. 0777017 635. We'll take just 2 more calls.
2 more, yeah.
And then we'll call it a day. To this caller, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Morning. Hello, morning.
I'm doing okay, and you?
I'm fine.
Okay, your name from where you join us?
I joined up from Sensing Community Agency Police Academy.
Okay, what's your name?
Yeah, I just want for we will like to.
Hello? What's your name?
My name is Florence.
Florence who?
Florence Goody.
Okay, Florence, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say I just want for the Liberians to be grateful that all has already given all of you Liberians. So we all should be patient to working now, and we should pray that our president shouldn't do discrimination to say, oh, because they want that, they don't want that. We should go everybody at once, and we pray that Liberia will be the doctor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There should be no discrimination. Inclusiveness. 7701765 will take the last call. To this caller, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay. My name is Abdurrahman Bah. Join the conversation from.
Sorry, your name?
My name is Abdurrahman Bah.
Okay, Abdullah.
Yeah, let me commend the panelists on the show. Let me first begin by appreciating His Excellency President Boakai for the level of appointment and bringing excellence into leadership. I heard the panelists earlier on stated if the president were to sit and deliver his speech on Monday, then it should be. But I want to reflect on something small. In the past, since the Madam Salif stand up to His Excellency, as the protocol, I stand to be corrected. I don't think the president do have a seat in the joint chamber of the legislature. I don't know if it is there, but I stand to be corrected. So what we've been seeing is the president immediately from his or her car, directly he mounts the podium or she mounts the podium, deliver her speech from there. The other protocol to escort he or she back. But in the return of the joint chamber of the legislature, the NSC there for the presidency. So we hope that we don't see what happened this come Monday repeat. Thank you very much for phoning me up today.
Thank you. Thank you, Abdullah.
Thank you. On Saturday we're having a special show. Right now the competition is taking place in Cote d'Ivoire. Pro is not there. Everybody concerned about Liberia football. Well, we have a show on Saturday where 2 former national players in basketball and soccer will be our guests. Benedict Wisa and Charles Wofford will be our guests, and somebody from the track and field will also be there too. And we'll be discussing the state of Liberian soccer, the state of affairs of it. Bring all your questions, come, and they'll be here to engage you. You know why? We'll tell you why. We will be at the next combination. They'll let you know when we'll be there. Maybe they'll help us. These guys.
Yeah, so just from the track and field perspective, the track and field coach that took the national team to the Olympics, I think it was '96, Kelvin Soko. He will be joining us that day to speak to that as well. It's Kelvin Soko.
Okay, so we'll look forward to Saturday, guys. Let's come prepare. Let's talk about Liberian soccer and basketball and all the other sports. You know, some of us retired very early from the game. I retired in 1988. I was playing third division soccer at the time. I about to go to second division when I got injured. I couldn't put it again, but again, I play basketball too. Now that Taylor Gibson.
We and myself are going to make it to the same team, but he took my spot. It's a bad thing.
But all the guys are us for less. They
Well, I'm a retired player from the Truett McConnell College University in Cleveland, Georgia. So I play for.
You put a jersey on, just in the Lago Road. See me.
Well,
he showed me action yesterday. Tony, you see me? Never forget it.
Politics.
I don't play football. I play golf and tennis.
All the rich folks play.
I played golf and tennis. I've been enjoying life since I was 16, 17 years old. I don't do all that. You're plenty running around.
Guys,
why won't Keff play?
Frita ball. The actual name, Frita ball.
Have a good night.
I want to send a shout out to all the special people who are watching tonight. Everybody, thank you for all your support. Everybody. So everybody, thank you. See you guys.
Yep. Just by watching, they've been supporting us. Just by watching. So
you versus Keff can play Blue Moon. Never see ya. No matter.
All right, see you, buddy.
And I think, folks, there's all the time we have to be with you here at the program, the closing document. Let me say many thanks to the guy there, Hot FM at 107.9 for relaying this program, and the team there at 2 FM 96.9 in Nima County or Saclay, Nima County or Saclay, 2 FM 96.9, and the folks there at Hot FM at 107.9 for also relaying this program and other community radio stations. For on behalf of the team, my name is Henry Jala John on Friday for another edition of the Closing Argument. Bye-bye from my end. You want everyone.